Okay, I'm going to go on in 1 minute and 35 seconds. 1 minute and 30 seconds. 125. 120. 115. 110. 105. 1 minute. 55 seconds. 50 seconds. 45 seconds. 40 seconds. 35 seconds. 30 seconds. 25 seconds. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blast off. Hello, and welcome to Red Pride Stadium on the campus of Plainfield High School. My name is Lex Zorn, and I'll be bringing you all the action as your number one ranked Plainfield Quakers challenge the arch rival and 8th ranked Decatur Central Hawks in Week 6 of the Indiana High School football season. Well, last week your Quakers overcame early offensive struggles and endured another lightning delay, improving to 5-0 on the season with a 28-0 win over the Greenwood Woodmen. On their first possession, a 4-yard loss on a mishandled snap took the Quakers from 3rd and 3 to 4th and 7, resulting in a punt. Their second possession started at the Greenwood 21 after a blocked punt, but ended on a missed 38-yard field goal attempt. Then after Greenwood made the high-risk move of going forward on 4th down inside their 30, Plainfield took over at the 27, but then turned it over on a controversial fumble call against Luke Starnes. However, the Quakers defense contained the Woodmen's stellar rushing offense all night. Greenwood dominated time of possession 32:05 to 15:55 and ran 36 plays to Plainfield's 36. But the Quakers forced the Woodmen to sustain long drives, allowing plenty of moderate gains, but keeping the ball in bounds and taking away the big play. Greenwood finished with 56 rushes for 244 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. On their fourth possession, Plainfield's offense finally got in motion through an unlikely source. Quarterback Bryce Sabank rushed a career-long 44 yards to the Greenwood 20, setting up a 2-yard touchdown rush by Luke Starnes. Then, in Greenwood's ensuing drive, they used almost the entire remainder of the half and missed a 31-yard field goal attempt with 26.1 seconds left. The Quakers got the ball first to start the second half, and after returning the kickoff to the Greenwood 36, quickly scored on a 13-yard touchdown rush by Western Wayrich with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. With 7:21 to go in the quarter, a lightning storm caused a delay of an hour and 16 minutes, but it seemed to have no effect on Plainfield, who picked up where they left off when the game resumed. They scored rushing touchdowns on 2 of their next 3 possessions, from 6 yards by Starnes and 10 yards by Wayrich, giving each 2 for the game and 10 for the season. Starnes rushed 15 times for 117 yards. Wayrich rushed 12 times for 99 yards. The rushing was so effective, Sabank threw only 1 pass the entire game. Plainfield got its second shutout in 3 games after having no shutouts for the last 8 years. The Quakers are likely to the Quakers did remain number 1 this week in the USA Today poll, while falling to number 2 in the AP poll, 1 notch behind Concord. And now that Plainfield is 5-0 for the second consecutive season, tonight they go for their first 6-0 start in 18 years as they host their fiercest rival, the Decatur Central Hawks, who are currently ranked number 8 and have a record of 2-2. Now, after Plainfield beat Decatur Central also on a Saturday afternoon, rescheduling back in 2012, the Hawks ran off 13 consecutive wins over the Quakers from 2013 to 2021, every year in the regular season and 4 times in the playoffs. Then in 2022, Plainfield beat Decatur Central twice, both times in dramatic fashion. 34-32 in overtime in the regular season and 13-10 in the sectional championship game on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Hunter Newell to Noah Hessing with 1.3 seconds left. Last year, Decatur Central gave Plainfield its first loss of the season. The Quakers led 23-9 in the fourth quarter before an epic collapse. The Hawks scored the last 17 points of the game and won 26-23. That completely changed the season for both teams. Plainfield went on to lose 3 of their last 4 and finished 6-4, while Decatur Central, who entered the game a disappointing 3-2, went all the way to the Class 5A state championship game, losing to Fort Wayne Snyder 33-6. After starting the season ranked number 1, the Hawks lost their opener 41-15 to Columbus North, who's now 4-1 and ranked number 9 in Class 6A. In week 2, Decatur Central played New Palestine, who's now 4-0 and ranked number 1 in Class 4A. That game was canceled at halftime with the score tied 21-21. The Hawks beat Whiteland, currently 3-1, and currently the number 6 ranked team in Class 5A by a score of 42-29 in week 3. But then the next week lost 39-38 to Martinsville, currently 5-0 and ranked 3rd in Class 4A. Finally, last week, Decatur Central got an easy win over Mooresville by a score of 55-14. Now, so far this season, Plainfield has rushed 200 times and passed 38 times, a ratio of 5.3 to 1. Starting quarterback Bryce Sabank, a sophomore, has been a very conservative and efficient game manager, completing 25 of 35 passes, 71.4% for 234 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. His leading receiver is sophomore Ethan Ellis with 8 receptions for 105 yards, followed by senior Weston Wayrich with 4 for 47, junior Ryan Garver with 3 for 32, and junior Luke Starnes 6 for 30. The Quakers do almost all of their damage on the ground, mostly with the players who I call the 2 lead actors. Junior Luke Starnes has 101 rushes for 841 yards and 10 touchdowns, while senior Weston Wayrich has 71 rushes for 448 yards and 10 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Decatur Central has rushed 107 times and passed 81, a ratio of 1.3 to 1. Junior quarterback Bo Polston, a third-year starter who has completed, and at that we will pause for the national anthem. So bear with me for just a minute. Well, thank you to Plainfield for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And now let me pick up a little bit before where I left off, so it'll be a smoother transition. Okay. So far this season, Decatur Central has rushed 107 times and passed 81 times, a ratio of 1.3 to 1. Junior quarterback Bo Polston, a third-year starter bound for the University of Toledo, has completed 49 of 75 passes, 65.3% for 789 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His leading receiver is junior Kashmir Hicks, who has 16 receptions for 351 yards and 4 touchdowns, followed by junior Carson Eisen with 11 receptions for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. Senior Napo Dodo with 8 receptions for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns, and junior Pharrell Carter with 9 receptions for 112 yards and 1 touchdown. Head coach for Plainfield is Tyler Bless, who's 11-4 in his second season with the Quakers. Head coach for Decatur Central is Kyle Enright, who's 72-27 in his 9th season with the Hawks. He has led Decatur Central to the Class 5A state championship He has led Decatur Central to the Class 5A state championship game twice, losing both times in 2018 and last year. Tonight is his 100th game as a head coach. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Plainfield Decatur Central, biggest 5A game in the state this week, coming at you live under the Saturday afternoon lights. Next. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellis and Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're just a few minutes from kicking off Game 6 of the season, and I'll tell you what a crazy season it's been. This is, this is only Game 6, and this is the third game in which you've had a weather delay, and this is the second game that's been rescheduled until a Saturday. The first being up at Harrison in Tippecanoe County 4 weeks ago. Then last week, we had a 1 hour and 16-minute lightning delay, but we finished the same day. So, yeah, this is the first time I've had 3 weather delays in one season in my 13 years. And it's only the 5th Saturday game that I've ever called, that among games that were rescheduled from Friday. So definitely it's an odd occurrence. Doesn't happen much, and what makes it even more unfortunate from a timing standpoint is that last night was homecoming, and this is the biggest Class 5A game in the state this week. Number 1 versus number 8, 2 arch rivals, 2 inaugural members of the Mid-State Conference. Of the teams, of the 8 current teams in the Mid-State Conference, 4 of them were inaugural members when the conference began in 1942. Plainfield, Decatur Central, Greenwood, and Mooresville. Plainfield, Greenwood, and Mooresville have been in the conference for its entire existence. Decatur Central left in 1971 and returned in 2016. Of the other teams in the conference, Franklin joined in 1968, followed by Whiteland in 1981, Martinsville in 2006, and Perry Meridian in 2018. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really this game is going to be, a real. It's going to tell us a lot about who Plainfield is. Obviously they're 5-0, ranked number 1. But, the teams they played so far generally have been mediocre. This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best team that we've played all season by a good margin. And obviously we're up against future Division One. Quarterback in Bo Polston, a 3-year starter. He torched us for over 350 yards 2 years ago as a freshman. And also Kashmir Hicks, a very talented player, maybe the best athlete we will have played all year. His stats include 3 interceptions, in addition to his receiving stats, which I quoted earlier. He has 3 of his team's 7 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. He also has an 87-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He's a very dangerous player. Obviously, we need to contain him. Now, we did, in week 1, contain a quarterback who was probably roughly the level of Polston, Brady Wilson of Terre Haute South, not Indiana State, as I've repeatedly mistakenly said, but Terre Haute South. Now, Wilson did get 365 yards, but he had to work hard for them. And, because he was often playing from behind. He had to take a lot of chances and throw deep, and he had some success doing it, but we still outscored them. And we intercepted him 3 times, 3 of our 9 interceptions of the season. In fact, last week, we did not. Last week was the first game this season that we did not get an interception. That was largely because Greenwood only threw, I think, 9 passes. So now, anyway, Saturday reschedulings always have, lower attendance than if the game had been played on Friday. It looks now like we've got about 500 Plainfield fans here in the home bleachers, about 100 Decatur Central fans across the field in the visiting bleachers. These two schools are almost each other's closest rival, 8 miles apart. Southwest Decatur Central is located in southwest Indianapolis. Our closest geographic rival is Mooresville, which is 6 miles down Indiana 267. Right now, the temperature here in Plainfield is a comfortable 71 degrees. We have a light rain. This is obviously, not an ideal situation. Obviously the weather's much better than it was last night, where we just, I guess we had a severe wind warning, and all 6 Hendricks, a lot of the games, I'd say about half the games in the state were played last night, but most, if not all, in central Indiana were canceled or postponed. And I'll be running down the Hendricks County games a little bit later in the broadcast, probably at halftime. So now Decatur Central threatening to do an odd kickoff for everybody charged at us, but now they back into a standard formation. Plainfield will be getting the ball first, 3:32 your time of day. I'm glad Plainfield gets the ball first. I want us to, and now it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So I want us to establish a tone. I want us to show that we can move the ball well against Decatur Central. On paper, we should be a slight favorite. Like again in the USA Today network poll, we're ranked number 1, Decatur Central number 8. But because Decatur Central has won 14 of the last 16 against us, we're likely they're likely in our heads, and hopefully we can shake that off, get off to a good start, and not have to play from behind. And last week we only had the ball 15 minutes and 55 seconds, but we still won easily 28-0. What I'm hoping this week is that even if it takes us 8 minutes or more to score, stake our time, just keep on moving. And now starting off with a handoff to Starnes, and he gets up for about a 4. So a decent start there by Luke Starnes. Give him credit for 4 there. So 2nd and 6 for Plainfield, so not a bad start. It only takes 3.4 yards to keep the clock and the chains moving, so let's keep it going. So now we've got Ellis to the right, Garver to the left, Starnes the running back, Bryce Sabank, the sophomore, in shotgun at quarterback. Now he gives it to Starnes again, but he's brought down around the line of scrimmage this time. So that's going to bring up, and I'll actually give him a 1-yard loss. So now a very big 3rd down and 7 here in the first minute of the game for the Quakers. Decatur Central, they have a gunslinging quarterback, Bo Polston. We don't want to give him a chance to go crazy. We got to contain him, force him to play from behind. So now Garver and Ellis both line up to the right. And now we've got both running backs, Wayrich and Starnes, 10 touchdowns apiece on the season in the backfield. And now handoff to Wayrich. He's got some around the right side, but he's going to be on second effort, he drives forward, but he's still a little bit short. So it looks like the Quakers will go 3 and out to start off the game here. Give him credit for 5 on that one. So first 3 plays, the Quakers move 8 yards, and it looks like they are going to punt here. It would be very high risk to go for it on 4th down against an offense the magnitude of Decatur Central. The main thing is just try not to have to play from behind. There still are fans filing in here. So, and it's blocked. It's blocked, and the ball is recovered around the 12. So we did it to Greenwood last week, recovering a blocked punt and starting a drive at their 21. Now Decatur Central's doing it to us around the 13. However, that drive for us last week after the block punt ended with no points. Hopefully, history will repeat itself this week. We'll see. Obviously, a high-pressure situation for our defense to start off on. So not a good start to the game for the Quakers. Hopefully, they will avoid going down. So 2 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left. Bo Polston, the superstar junior quarterback in shotgun. He takes it, fakes the handoff. He rushes to himself, and he's inside the 5. He's going to be close to the first down. So I think Polston's going to get about 7 or 8 there. Let's see where they mark him. They give him credit for 8 there, bringing up to the 5. So now he fakes another one, but this time we bring him down for a slight loss. Okay, that's big. All right, so now it'll be a 3rd down and about 4. So Polston, I guess twice was going to the wall, one too many times for him. So it's a 3-yard loss. Good. So 3rd and 5. It's a lot better than 2nd and 2. Even if we could, hold them to a field goal here, that would be pretty good after, they started the drive all the way down at their 13. So now I formation here. And now there's he trips on the handoff, and he's knocked out of bounds. He got back to he got forward for maybe 2 yards. It's going to be a 4th and about 3 there. So are they going to go for it, or are they going to go for take the easy field goal? Ashton Vocal, as the the Hawks kicker, one of the best kickers in the state. He beat us with a 49-yard field goal last year in the final minutes to win the game. So they're going for it. And Polston, and he dies. And we stopped him. Yes. A turnover on downs. A high-risk play pays off. All right. Oh, man. Big-time defensive stand for the Quakers there. Well, I'm not sure that Decatur Central really envisioned that play. After that's 2 yards on the 2-yard loss there by Polston, by the way. So Polston takes it 8 on the first carry of the game, but then he has a couple of tackles for a loss, and the Quakers take over 1st and 10 at their 7. So it looks like that block punt might end up turning out to be harmless. So now first play, the next drive, Starnes has got a hole up the middle, and he's still on his feet, push forward, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. He might actually have a 1st down. There is a flag. I didn't see it, but let's see. If it is, it would, I guess, be half the distance to the goal against the Quakers. Let's see here. Okay, it's against the Quakers, so that's going to be about half the distance to the goal. That will be half the distance to the goal, so it'll be around the 3 or 4. Okay, they're keeping it at the 7, so I'm not sure exactly what the situation is. Anyway, so now Garver and Ellis out to the left. Sabankin shotgun, two running backs again. Takes it. Hands off. Starnes got some room on the left side. Spats the 10 up to about the 12 or the 13. So solid rush there by Starnes on first down. So they give Starnes credit for 6 there. That's his best of the game so far. So 3 for 9 for Starnes on the game. 2nd and 4 now for the Quakers at their own 13. No score here in the first quarter. And now handoff to Wayrich, and he's got a first down, but we got a flag. So let's see what that's about. Already 2 flags here in the first 4.5 minutes. Holding against the Quakers. So yeah, we got to stop the penalties. That could be a killer in this game. Some of the teams that we've played this year, we could get away with a few penalties. We got to really minimize them as much as we can against the against Decatur Central. They are our toughest opponent of the season. We are ranked as 7 notches higher than we are ranked 7 notches higher than they are, number 1 versus number 7, but can't take any chances. So 2nd and 11 now after that 5-yard penalties. So go one receiver to each side. Wayrich, the running back. Sabankin shotgun, and now Quakers don't like what they see, and they take a timeout here. Well, it's early in the game, not 7:22 to go in the first quarter. Early to take a timeout, but this is a game. I think the Quakers know what's at stake here. These are 2 teams that know each other extremely well. Each in the last couple of years is, they've had, each team has had, a lot of ups and downs against the other in the last couple of years, and if Decatur Central, after that rough start, 2-2, and then they had the no contest, but with the rain out against the lightning out, I guess you would say, against New Palestine. If they were to get a win over the number 1 team in their class, one of their sectional rivals, that would be a sign that they're starting to get it together, just like their victory against us last year symbolized. We were up 23-9 in the third quarter, on our way to our 3rd consecutive win against Decatur Central, and a 6-0 start. Then everything fell apart, and the season fell apart. Got to avoid a repeat of that. This team is too good to let that happen. And now a trick play there, and he's up the middle, and so Ellis with a rare rush, although he did have our first touchdown of the season on a rush. Gets 4 there. Bringing up 3rd and 7. It was 3rd and 7 on our first possession as well. Then there was the blocked punt, but then Decatur Central amazingly turned it over on downs, despite taking over at the 13. And now you rush up the middle. He's going to be short of the first down, though. That was the keeper by Sabank. His first keeper of the game. He picked up about 5. Let's see where they mark him. Yeah, they mark him 1 yard short, so 6 yards there by Sabank. So already 4 Quakers have rushed here in the 6 minutes of the game. 4th and 1 now. And they go for it. Did they get it? They got it. High risk play. Going for it, inside your opponent's red zone. Starnes got it. All right. Got 2 yards. He needed 1. He got 2. It's a good job, Luke. Starnes 4 for 11 in this game, and I'll tell you, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I was bold. I'm not sure I would have been bold enough to do that, but I'm glad they did. So, two receivers, one receiver each side now, two running backs. Rush up the middle. He's going to get about two. That was Starnes again. Already his fifth carry of the game in the first 6.5 minutes. Give him credit for one. So 2nd and 9 for the Quakers now at their own 20. 5:15 to go and counting. Still no score. Game 6 of 9 in the regular season. Garver and one other receiver out to the right. Now a handoff there, and he's got up for about 3 or 4. I believe that was Starnes again. Yes, it was Starnes. Already a 6th. Give him credit for 3. He is 6 for 15, 2.5 a carry. Still waiting for that breakthrough. Quakers now a big 3rd and 6 at the Decatur Central 23. They already have a 4th down conversion. Each team already has gone for it once on 4th down in this game. So now Garver and Ellis out to the right. Starnes and Wayrich in the backfield. Sabak fakes the handoff now, throws over, and it's and now we got a flag. I think it's going to be pass interference against Decatur Central, which will give us 15 free yards that we very much need. Oh, personal foul. Okay, roughing the passer. Okay. All right, good. So after two early penalties that went against us and negated, solid gains, now we've got our best field position of the game at the Decatur Central 38, 4:13 to go, nearly a 6th of the way through this game. Still no score. Biggest 5A game in the state this week, number 1 versus number 8. Hard to believe Plainfield's the number 1. It feels good to be on the other side of this after Decatur Central's so often been a top 5, even a top 3 team. And now hand off to Wayrich, and he goes right, then goes forward, and we got a late flag. So let's see. Holding against Plainfield, so that'll back it up 10 yards, unfortunately. Already a penalty-heavy game. 4 in the first 7:59, 4:01 to go, so we're on pace to have 24 penalties in this game. Plainfield's on pace to have 18 of them. Hopefully, it won't come to that. So now the Quakers, and another flag. Let's see what that's about. So now all of a sudden it's another one against the Quakers. So 1st and 25 now. 1st and 25 at the 23. So the last 2 plays we've lost the 15 yards that we got back. So 1st and 10 goes to 1st and 25 now, which is not a good position to be in without a good passing offense. And no, but Starnes has got it, and he picks it up over 10 yards up to the about the 36. So let's see what. So yeah, 12 yards by Starnes. So much more manageable now. 7 for 28 now. 2nd and 13 now at the 36. Not great, but certainly better than 1st and 25. So now one receiver each side. Now we got some movement on the line. Hopefully it's a penalty, and it looks like it's going to be against Decatur Central. So one receiver to each side now. Two running backs. Sabank in shotgun, 2nd and 8 now. Fakes the handoff. And then he's hit as he throws to Wayrich, but he's hit as he throws it, and it throws the pass off target. First pass of the game for either team, actually. Hard to believe Polston hasn't thrown one yet either. So now one receiver to the right, and now handoff there to Starnes. He's up the middle. He gets a couple, but he's going to be far short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th and about 6 or so. And now it's a punt, and it dies about the 25. So Decatur Central will start its second drive in much worse field position than their first. So Plainfield moves the ball a little better on their second drive, but still punts it away. This is going to be a tough fight. We can do it, but we just got to play our A game. Decatur Central taking over at their own 25 now, 2:02 to go. So now two receivers to the right, one to the left, Polston in shotgun. Fred Carter, the running back, fakes the handoff to Carter. Then a screen pass down the left side, and he's got a first down and a little more. Kashmir Hicks there on the reception, picking up 14 yards there. He is a big-time player. And now handoff, I believe that's Carter. He gets up 5 or 6. So let's see where they mark him. Carter is the lead rusher on this team on the season. Give him credit for 7 on that one. He had 2 on his first. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Polston and shotgun. Carter, the running back. Now another keeper by Polston, and he's brought down for a gain. And he does have the first down and maybe one more. Already 4 keepers in the game for Bo Polston. That'll make it 1st and 10 at the 50. Polston coming into today, 29 rushes for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. So 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. High snap, but Polston gets it. He goes over and he completes a pass, and he's out of bounds for. He's got the first and a little more. Knocked out of bounds. Oh, because they marked him out a little closer than I expected to. So I thought I thought he had the first. He's a yard short, as it turns out. So now handoff and Polston, and then he tries taking himself, and he's hit. The ball comes loose, but did they say it was already? Or are they going to call it a pass? Okay, so yeah, they're calling it a pass. So bring it up 3rd and 1. So 3rd and 1 for the Hawks. Still no score in the last minute of the first quarter here in this rescheduling of last night's homecoming game. So now one receiver to the right, I formation here. Polston under center. Now he hands off, but he gets through. Carter breaks through the middle, and he dodges a couple of tackles, gets over to the right side of the field. He's brought down around the 33 or 34. So Pharrell Carter gets 6 there. 3 for 15 so far, and that's likely going to be the last play of the quarter. They're getting into formation, but only 3 seconds left. And that's it. So after 1 quarter of play here, it's very tense games, hard-fought games so far. No score yet between Plainfield and Decatur Central. Decatur Central has the ball 1st and 10 at the Plainfield 34. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, my IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the second quarter here. Still with no score between your Plainfield Quakers, ranked number 1, and their arch rival Decatur Central Hawks, ranked number 8. Plainfield enters at 5-0 for the second consecutive season, hoping for their first 6-0 start in 18 years. That was the first year of the Brian Woodard era. Now we're in year 2 of the Tyler Bless era. Decatur Central, having been to the Class 5A state championship game in 2018 and 2023, losing both times. They opened the season ranked number 1 in the class. Now at number 8 after a disappointing 2-2 start, though they have had a lot of good moments. 2 receivers down to the left, one to the right. A screen pass. It is complete, and he's got the first down. More inside the 25-20, and he's knocked out a bounce inside the 15, a pick of about 20 yards there. That was Kashmir Hicks. I assume he's the younger brother of Caleb Hicks, who got that 99-yard touchdown rush for a touchdown against us 3 years ago. 3 years ago when these current seniors were freshmen. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now handoff there. And it breaks inside. He's got the first down close to the goal line. Pharrell Carter. Boy, we're having a hard time containing these great athletes of Decatur Central as we normally do. We're lucky not to be down a touchdown already. Oh, he gets 9 there. And now screen pass, and he dives to get the touchdown. Yeah, to Hicks, yeah. So well, concerning start for the Quakers. Extra point is up, and it is good. So with 11:21 to go in the second quarter here, Your score, Decatur Central 7, Plainfield 0. Now we got to answer this. We can't afford to go down by 2 possessions here. Well, Plainfield's first possession was 3 and out. Their second one, they actually went for it on 4th down, on 4th and 1 at their own 17. Did get the first down, but then punted later. They have been hurt by 3 penalties. They got to cut down on that the rest of the game. Starnes has done decently, 8 for 28, but we got to get him some breakthroughs. His only big run was a 12-yarder that came on 1st and 25. This game is gonna be a test, test of whether we deserve that number 1 ranking that we've had for the last 3 weeks. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Got to do something big here, boys. And I'll tell you, this is just, I have a really odd feeling here, it's so weird to be commentating a game on a Saturday afternoon like this. And of course, I'm wide awake because unlike most games, I didn't come from a long shift at work. But anyway, so now start off the drive at the 20. Screen pass is complete to Ellis, and he's up and he's got close to the first down. He might have it. So Ethan Ellis looks like they're going to. So we got an 11-yard gain. Good. And plus, I felt all along that as great as our rushing offense is, we got to establish a passing offense. So I'm glad we got the first down there. Now we got 3 wide receivers. That's unusual. Looks like Ellis and Garver to the left, Beers to the right. 1 running back now. Fakes the hand. No, he hands off to Starnes, who takes it up, and he's got about 4 yards there. So decent run there by Starnes. Give him credit for 4 there. Starnes 9 for 32. And now we've got a Quaker down. Hopefully this is not serious. He's being attended to now. But basically, what this feels like right now. It's a weird mix of feelings that I'm experiencing because the atmosphere here with the sparse crowd and being Saturdays, being that there's daylight, it feels like those JV and freshman games that I've done many times for Plainfield as well as for Avon over the years. But yet this is the biggest 5A game in the state this week, and this is homecoming, so definitely it's an odd mix of elements here. But if we can pull out the victory, that'll be great. And it's one of those things. If we play a great game and we fall a little short, that's not going to be anything to hang our heads over. Decatur Central, like I said, they've gotten to the Class 5A state championship game 2 of the last 6 years. They could do it this year. In fact, there's a good chance that whoever wins our sectional, it's us, Whiteland, and Decatur Central, is going to represent the South in the state championship game. Anderson's the other team in the sectional, but obviously not much of a chance there. Wrigley Matthews is the injured Quaker, by the way, a sophomore, 6'5", 257. So hopefully he'll be back on the field soon. And certainly his size, is a lot that we can build around, because we are going to have some key offensive line losses this year, excuse me. So now hand off there to Ellis. He's got the first down, more pass, 45, 50, 45, and he's up to about the 42. So all of a sudden, Plainfield threatening to establish a passing attack. I know we got a late flag here. Let's see what that's about. But that's about, he took it about 22, 23 yards up. Hopefully it's against Decatur Central, but we shall see. Yes, okay, it's against Decatur Central. I didn't see what the call. Face mask, okay, face mask. So 23, add 23 yards to the, add 15 yards, add 5 yards to the 23 yards by Ellis. So 2 passes to Ellis, completed for 34 yards. So I think we're going to have to start establishing more of a passing threat to open some more doors for our rushers. So now Garver and Ellis again, the receivers. Now a handoff to Starnes, and he's up the middle, and he plows his way forward for about 3 or 4. Give him 4. Bringing up 10 for 36 for Starnes for the game. 2nd and 6, Plainfield now. This is their best field position of the game. The first time they've been in Hawk territory the whole game. 10-14 to go and counting. They trail 7-0. So now Garver to the right. Garver to the left. Ellis to the right. Wayrich, the running back. Sabank in shotgun. And gives it to Wayrich. He's got some room over there on the left side. But, he's swarmed and he's going to be brought down. They might give him forward progress for a yard or so. He's pushed out of bounds, stopping the clock with 9:51 to go. Wayrich's only 2nd carry of the game versus 10 by Starnes. And hey, Liam, check out that plane. This is Saturday. I wonder if that's a Monday to Friday plane. So it's an inside joke. I'll explain when I have a little more time. We are near the airport here, and now we've got. I'm not sure what the. Did Plainfield take another timeout? The Quakers are now coming over toward the sideline, and now Decatur Central over toward their sideline. Oh, now Plainfield's going back to the ball. And actually, they're saying that Wayrich lost 2 on that one. Or maybe the discussion is so now Starnes now it looks like Brandon Hendry's in there now, along with Wayrich in the backfield. Hendry had a few 2-point conversions for us last year. Now hand off there to Wayrich. He's got some room up the middle, and he is tripped up, and he passes the 30. He's going to be close. 4th down and 1 there. So an 8-yard rush there by Weston Wayrich, his longest of the game. I'd imagine we would go for it here. We are clearly in 4-down territory. This would be a 45-yard field goal. It's probably a little bit beyond Hayob's range. And we went for it on 4th and 1 at our own 17. So anyway, now hand off to Hendry, but I think did he get it? If he did, it was by the skin of his teeth. No. So Hendry, the fullback sized player, they were ready for him and they stopped him. So the Quakers get into Hawk territory the first time all game, but they come away empty, turning it over on downs at the 28. Hendry becoming the fifth Quaker to rush in this game. And now Polston, and he throws it away. Only his 2nd incompletion. He's completed 4 of his first 5 for 48 and a touchdown. Even though he's only a junior, he is already committed to a college, the University of Toledo, the Rockets. I guess it's about a 4.5, maybe 5 hour drive up here. Toledo in Northwest Ohio. Each team now with a turnover on downs in this game. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And now we've got a flag. So it's going to be against Decatur Central, bringing it back 5 yards. So second and 5. I'm second and 15 for the Hawks now at their own 24. 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Decatur Central leads Plainfield 7-0 with Quakers ranked number 1, Hawks ranked number 8. 2 years ago, Plainfield snapped a 13-game losing streak to Decatur Central. More on that later. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now fumble. We got it. Yes. All right. Yeah, fumble on the snap. Now we gotta we gotta take advantage here. All right. So new life into this crowd. And now the crowd has continued to grow. I think we got more like probably 750, maybe 800 Quaker fans now counting the standing room, and maybe 150 Decatur Central fans. And also probably close to 1,000 people here, which for a Saturday rescheduling is certainly pretty good. I think we had about 500 for the Saturday rescheduling at Harrison 4 weeks ago. So now the Quakers start the drive at the 26. Ellis to the right, Garver to the left. 2 running backs there with Sabank and shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Starnes. Now he's got time, and he throws deep into the end zone. Incomplete. I think they were trying to draw the pass interference. Probably a good no call. I try to be objective. Nevertheless, that's Sabank's 4th pass of the game, which is, he doesn't pass a lot. I mean, he only passed once last week. So I think Plainfield realizes they're going to have to have more of a passing offense if we're going to have a shot to beat this very athletic team. So now high snap, but gets it to Starnes, and he's got some room. He gets inside the 16, and he fumbles it. Oh, no. It looked like it was just stripped out of his hands. Oh, no. So, oh, God, this is terrible. So back-to-back fumble losses. So Plainfield just, I've got to count, two drives on the 30 that have come away with no points. We had the same last week against Greenwood. We could get away with it against them. It's going to be a lot harder to get away with it against Decatur Central, but maybe we will. Let's see. So hand off to Carter, and he's brought down for a gain of about 2. Pharrell Carter. Give him credit for 2, bringing up 2nd and 8. I have him 5 for 27. .808 to go and counting here in the second quarter. Decatur Central 7, Plainfield 0. 2 receivers to each side now. 1 running back, Polston. Screen pass, and I think out of bounds. It was out of bounds. So bringing up 3rd and 8. So a very critical 3rd down for the Quakers defense here. We got to get the ball back without giving up any more points. We can't go down 2 possessions. We go down 2 possessions we're in trouble. because we just don't have enough of a big play type offense. So this game definitely a clue. We've got to establish more of a passing offense because there are games in which we're likely to need it. So now 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Polston under pressure. He looks downfield and it's the pass is deflected. So bringing up 4th down. So the Quakers will apparently get the ball back. So apparently the Quakers will escape, a major negative consequence, for that lost fumble there. So 4th and 8 now. Decatur Central set to punt. 7:43 to go here in the second quarter in a 7-0 lead. Looks like there's not going to be any pizza here tonight. Yep. And now I think they might have got a piece of the punt, but it goes out of bounds just past midfield. So Plainfield will take over in good field position, and they need it. Take over at the 46. So that's a 29-yard punt. And keep in mind, Decatur Central gets the ball first to start the half, and the way that Plainfield is a predominantly rushing team. If this might be our last good chance to score here in the first half, so we got to take advantage of it. So 1 receiver to each side. Wayrich, the running back, Sabank takes it. Screen pass to Wayrich. He's got the catch, and he's got the first down and more. Close to the 40. So already 5 passes by Sabank in this game. And they mark him up 13 yards. So 47 passing yards by Sabank. And that was Wayrich's longest gain from scrimmage. So 2 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left. Wayrich, the running back. Now Wayrich gets the snap, and he's past the 40, past the 35, and he's got the first down up to about the 30. So Wayrich starting to hit his stride here. And I'll tell you, I think that our moderate success that, we're now having with passing as Wayrich gets 11 there, which is as much as he had on his first 3 rushes combined. I have him 4 for 22 now. Starnes 10 for 36, so 14 for 58 between them. So not bad, but certainly not the kind of stellar numbers we've seen from them. Obviously, Decatur Central, our toughest opponent of the season. So now Garver and Ellis to the left, Beers to the right. Wayrich, the running back, standing to the right of Sabank in shotgun. 6:40 to go. Plainfield trying to tie it up here. High snap, but he gets it. And now Sabank rolls left, throws up the middle. He's got a catch, and that's Ellis up to about the 10. So Sabank has completed 4 of his 6 passes. He's on pace to have his best passing game of his young career. He's only a sophomore, 19 yards there. Ellis with 3 of the 4 receptions. He's 3 for 42, 19 on that one. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now handoff there to Wayrich, and he's brought down. He might get forward progress for 1. So now 2 receivers, 1 receiver to each side, excuse me. And now we got some movement here. Okay, so offsides against Decatur Central. So it's from 2nd and 10 at the 11 to 2nd and 5 at the 6. All right, we got to get a score here, boys. Got to tie this thing up. 5:34 to go here in the second quarter. So Garver to the left, Ellis to the right, Starnes the running back. Fakes the handoff to Starnes. Zabonker's right, throws, and it's deflected. Could have been intercepted. Very lucky that it wasn't. Nevertheless, it's good to see that Sabonk is starting to, that he's showing a take charge atmosphere. Now a very big 3rd and 5 for the Quakers. I'd imagine if they don't get this first down, they'll go for the field goal unless it's maybe like 4th and 1 or something like that. But anyway, so now we got Hendry and Starnes in the backfield. Ellis and Garver lined up to the right. Sabonk in shotgun. Takes a snap. Hands off to Starnes. He's up there and he drives forward. He's going to be very close. He doesn't quite get in, but let's see where they mark him. Decatur Central, very tough defense. And Plainfield, 4th and 3 after a 2-yard pickup there by Starnes. Fourth and 3, and Plainfield takes a very wise timeout here, trying to gauge their strategy. This would be, if it were a field goal, it would be 1 yard more than an extra point. Obviously, that's Hayob has only missed 1 extra point on the season. He's 19 of 20. So it'd be almost automatic for him. That would make it 7-3 here late in the quarter. But that means Decatur Central, with a very good offense, would have a shot to get take a 2-possession lead into the locker room, and they get the ball first to start the second half. So boy, it's decision time, and it looks like they are going to go for it. Boy, this will be painful if they miss it, but I like the boldness here of the call, and I think it shows the urgency that they feel. So Starnes, the only running back. Also got Hendry in there. Ellis, Garver out to the right. They give it to Starnes, and he plows his way forward. Did he get it? Yes! Yes! Luke Starnes, number 11 on the season, and the Quakers are an extra point away from tying it. All right. All right. Boy, did we need that. It's a new ball game here on homecoming weekend at Plainfield. They go for it on 4th and 3 at the 4, and they got it. 4:48 to go. So Hayob, 19 of 20 on extra points on the season. This would tie it. Mason Monday, the holder. The kick is up, and it is good, and we are tied. We are tied. 4:48 to go in the second quarter. We're hanging tough. We're not out of the woods yet, but boy, there's a sigh of relief. That was a 54-yard. That was a 54-yard drive by Plainfield. Hayob is a senior. He's improved tremendously since his junior year. Should be playing college ball a year from now. Now Plainfield enters the field. Now we've got to hold them without any points the rest of the half, because what we don't want is for them to score a touchdown here near the end of the half and then come back to for the second half where they get the ball first and then go up two touchdowns on us. That would be very hard for us to come back from. Keep in mind also, there's a big chance we're going to run into these guys again in the playoffs. We've run into them in the playoffs 5 of the last 9 years. They won the first 4 times. We won the last time for the sectional championship. the kick. It's a deep one, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. And by the way, that was Hayob's 18th touchback of the season on 30 kickoffs. So he's gotten exactly 60% of them in the end zone. He only had 3 touchbacks all of last season. Boy, has he improved that leg strength. So now Decatur Central taking over. So now Carter, and he's got some room on the right side. He's got the first down and more out of bounds close to the 35. So good start to the drive for the give him 15. So I have Pharrell Carter, 6 for 42. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and now we've got a short pass, and it's to Hicks for about 7 or 8. So 7 yards there. Hicks has 4 of the 5 receptions for Decatur Central so far. 4:14 to go, and counting here in the second quarter. Teams tied at 7. Decatur Central with all 3 timeouts. 2 receivers to each side now, and screen pass, and he makes it, but he's hit and knocked out of bounds after picking up just about 1. So bringing up a 3rd and short now for the 3rd and short now for the Hawks. 3rd and 2. And he's got some room on the right side, past the 40, 35, 30, and knocked out of bounds around the 25. Carter with his first explosive rush of the game, picks up about 30 there. See where they mark him. So now the Hawks in good scoring position here. It's 1st and 10 now at the 24 after that 30-yard rush there, a 32-yard rush there. And now Polston takes it himself. He gets about 1, maybe 2. Depends on the spot. So Polston, he and Carter are the only Polston and Carter are the only players to rush for Decatur Central in this game. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And now Carter gets the ball again, and he looks for an opening. He's got it on the right side, and he goes all the way for the touchdown, 23 yards. 2:29 to go. So Pharrell Carter, I have him 8 for 97. He had a 32-yarder earlier on this drive. So he's starting to hit his stride now. So 13-7 Decatur Central with the conversion pending. Found some room on the right side, and he was gone. Blazing speed. And now good attempt at the block, but he does get it. So 14-7 your score. And now the Quakers with 2:29 remaining on the clock and 1 timeout left. They're going to have to really try to score here because Decatur Central does get the ball Decatur Central does get the ball first to start the second half, and we can't afford to let them have it. We can't afford to let them come out of the locker room and take a two touchdown lead. That'd be very, very hard to overcome. Well, for those of you just joining us, we're playing varsity high school football at an unusual time. We had a 3:30 rescheduling tonight after last night's weather delay. There was a lot of rain and heavy wind here in Indianapolis last night as a result of that hurricane down there in Florida. Yeah, I know it's nice to have year-round, good weather. But I don't know why anybody would live in Florida with all the hurricanes down there. All right. So now the Hawks set to kick off here. Ashton Vogel, one of the best kickers in the state. He beat us with that 49-yard field goal last year. Completing that comeback, we led 23-9 in the third quarter before things unraveled for us. And another deep kick. And this one goes into the end zone for the touchback. So the Quakers 80 yards to tie it in the last 2:29 of the half. Normally, this wouldn't be a high-pressure situation to score, but here it is. Sabank has, been considerably more effective. He's on pace to have a career passing game. He's been a very conservative offensive manager so far, and he's done that very well through the first 5 games, leading us to this 5-0 start. But I just thought that at some point in the season we were going to need to establish a better passing offense. Now we've got Ellis and Wayrich lined up as wide receivers to the right. I believe that's Garber to the left. And now hand off there to Starnes, and he's brought down. And the ball comes out. And Decatur Central has it. If it's ruled a fumble, if they don't, unless they rule he was down first. Yeah, they ruled it a fumble. So now 2 lost fumbles by Starnes today, and the Hawks take over at the Plainfield 22. Now the pressure cranked up on our defense to avoid going down 2 scores into halftime, and then Decatur Central coming out with a chance to take a 3-possession lead to start the second quarter. The second half, excuse me. Second lost fumble in the game. And granted, we are playing in the rain. You're going to see more of that. And now we got a flag here before the snap. False start against the Hawks helps us a little bit. Brings it back to the 27. So it'll be 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. We'll be very lucky if we get out of this drive without any points. You've got to come up with a good stop here, boys. And if we lose this game, it doesn't mean the season's lost and hopeless. It just means that, we got some things to work on. So don't panic and stick with the kids whether they win or lose today. So anyway, now fakes the handoff, and now a screen pass over to the right side. And he's brought down for a gain of about 5. I believe that was Hicks again, bringing up about 2nd and 10. Polston is having a solid but not spectacular game. Of course, you don't expect he's going to have a huge game in this kind of rain. Under 2 minutes to go now. The Hawks still with all 3 timeouts, haven't used any yet. .142 to go and counting now, 2nd and 9 at the 21. And now hand off there to Carter. He's got some room on the right side, and he's got the first down, and he's knocked out of bounds around the 10. And then we got a late flag. I think it's going to be – I know we got a fight. Oh, no. A couple of it looked like there's going to be a fight there, but the Quaker involved wisely walked away. I think all the flags were after the play, but let's see. Let's see. Waiting for the personal foul against the Quakers. So that'll be half the distance to the goal. So now Decatur Central, and they got it down to the 3. Well, so Pharrell Carter, unquestionably the player of the game. I have him 9 for 112 and a touchdown now. First and goal at the 3. Now we got to come up with a stop here, and now they give it to Carter, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown, with his second touchdown of the game. So Decatur Central threatening to pull away here, 127 to go here in the quarter. And they get the ball first to start the second half. So now we really are going to be under pressure. And that's, by the way, that's Carter's second touchdown, 1 minute and 2 seconds apart. It looks like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here. And now it is. And we got a flag here. He took it in on a pitch from Colston, but let's see if it counts or not. Well, now Plainfield's going to have to really do something, because if Plainfield does not score to close out the second half with the 127 and 1 timeout they have left, then Decatur Central's going to have a chance to make this a 3-touchdown lead to start off the second half when they get the ball first, and that would be nearly impossible for us to overcome. So it's gonna be against. So it's the 2-point conversion is going to be negated. So they're going to likely now they're going to go for a likely they're going to go for a. Yeah, they're going to go for it. 1-point conversion now from 5 yards back, and it is up and it's blocked. It's blocked, and so 20-7 your score with 127 to go in the second quarter. Plainfield, they're not out of it, but they've got to get something going. That was Vogel's first miss on a PAT all year. He was 23 for 23 prior to that. He's a great kicker. Probably one of the 4 or 5 best kickers I've ever commentated. And when I think about the best kickers, the Hagee brothers, obviously. And then I remember one time I commentated a Westfield game, and they had a guy named Alex Bale who went on to play both for Cincinnati and either Oregon or Oregon State. He actually hit a 55-yarder, which is the longest field goal I've ever commentated. And he was only a freshman at the time, too. So obviously I knew that he had a laser rocket leg. But I always tell kids, if you're going to play football, even if you don't have much athletic ability, learn to be a good kicker, because even 6A schools often don't even have a guy who hits the extra points consistently. More on that later, but anyway, disappointing first half for the Quakers. Hopefully we'll come back and finish strong. Hopefully get a win, but obviously. And now it's a squib. And now fielded, taken at the 15 up to the 20, and brought down around the 24. That was Ellis there. So now the Quakers need to get something going and fast. They have 122 and 1 timeout left. This is not what we had hoped. And anyway, So two receivers now to the left. We got a new receiver there to the right. Mason Monday there, who is the holder for our field goals and extra points. So now fakes the hand. No, it gives it to Starnes. No, it's the ball. Takes it himself up to the 40, 45, 50. And now we got a late flag. No, I'm sorry. That was Wayrich. That was Wayrich. So it was a heck of a fake. I thought Sabank had it. And then I think they're going to get a personal foul afterward, which will be a good break for Plainfield if that's what it is. Because it looked to me like he was hit after he went out of bounds. But yeah, Sabank, that was a Scott Amore caliber fake. But let's see what the call is. Got four officials talking now. So it's going to be against the Quakers, but it won't negate all of the runs. They're marking it back 10 yards. So still go down as a 15-yard rush for Wayrich. So 1st and 10 at our own 39, 1:13 to go, one timeout. Wayrich's longest gain of the evening through the air or on the ground. Fakes the handoff now. Sabank. And he throws, and it is overthrown. He was going for Ellis. Second and 10 at the 39 for the Quakers, 1:07 to go. So now we got Garver and Ellis out to the left, Monday to the right. Wayrich, the running back, Sabank in shotgun. Sabank takes it, fakes the handoff. No, he gives it to Wayrich, who gets it up for about 4, maybe 5. And that brings us to the 1 minute mark. Give him credit for 5 there. So second and 5 at their own 44 for the Quakers. 37 seconds to go and counting. Two receivers to the right, to the two receivers to the left, one to the right. And now fakes the handoff to Wayrich, Sabank, and he takes it up himself, and he's got the first down. And I think the clock has kept on running, and now finally they're blowing it dead. But yeah, it looked clear to me that he did break the first down plane, so the clock should stop at least to move the chains. $20 seconds to go, showing on the clock. I don't know if they're going to. Now the officials are deliberating. We have 5 officials working this game, and now we got a late flag, and I think it's going to be against one of the Plainfield coaches. He was out there shouting, and boy, I try not to be too judgmental over. I try not to be too judgmental about unsportsmanlike conduct penalties because they're often very subjective. But he was out on the field and looked very angry. But it looked to me like where the ball is marked now, it's a yard short of the first down. But it looked to me like Sabank should have been awarded the first down on forward progress. I'd like to see a replay, but it looked clear to me that he had it at least up to the 49, which is where he needed to get. But then we got apparently an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Plainfield sideline after that, which would back it up 15 yards regardless. Oh, sideline warning, so at least it won't. 4th and 1. And it looks like we're going to punt this time. $20 seconds to go. So now Plainfield just has to, hopefully that they, now we just have to hope that Decatur Central doesn't get any more points in these last seconds. It's a good punt, and it bounces down close to the goal line. And I don't think Plainfield realized they had a chance Had they reacted sooner, they might have been able to down it to one. As it is a touchback. So it'll nevertheless go as a 52-yard punt. So now Decatur Central with 10.1 seconds to go, I imagine will just run out the clock. And be satisfied with a 13-point lead heading into the into the locker room. But I'll tell you, just like that, I'm not convinced that fumble should have been counted against Starnes last week. I'm also not convinced that Sabank did not have the first down there. And if you listen to me, you know I do not complain much about the officiating. And even then, I'm being open-minded. I could be wrong. My eyes could have fooled me, but I don't think they did. I mean, I've been watching football 46 years, and I don't view it perfectly, but I think I view it better than most people. So the Decatur Central kneels at the clock. So after one half of play here, in a mild rain in this rescheduled game on homecoming, your Quakers not after the start they hoped. They trail the Decatur Central Hawks 20-7 here on audiosportsonline.com. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, that's BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwyn Jones and the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're at halftime with your number one ranked Plainfield Quakers now in jeopardy of losing their number one ranking. They trail the 8th ranked and arch rival Plainfield Quakers by a score of 20-7. It's a game that was originally scheduled to be played last night for our homecoming. Because of the severe weather, it was rescheduled till today, although the weather's not a lot better. It's moderately better. We still have, a moderate rain that's been there for most, if not all, of the game. It's very cloudy. We had a temperature of 71 right before game time, so at least the air is, pretty pleasant. But certainly it has not been a glamorous game. It's been marred by mistakes by both teams, but Decatur Central's made a couple of fewer mistakes, and that's been the difference in the game so far. Decatur Central, Plainfield got the ball first, and then they not only had a 3-and-out, but their punt was blocked and recovered by Decatur Central at their at right around their 21, and then they got it all the way up to the up to the 3, but ended up turning it over on downs. And then Plainfield punted on its second possession, and then on Decatur Central's second possession with 11:21 to go in the second quarter, Bo Polston threw 4 yards to Kashmir Hicks for the touchdown. Ashton Vogel's extra point made it 7-0. However, Plainfield then after turning it over on downs on its next drive at the Decatur Central 28. Pharrell Carter lost a fumble for the Hawks that Plainfield recovered. However, then on Plainfield's ensuing possession, Luke Starnes lost a fumble. But then Plainfield did come back and later in the quarter and got their only score of the game so far with 4:48 to go in the second quarter on a 4-yard rush by Luke Starnes. Then, however, Decatur Central on its ensuing possession scored on a 23-yard touchdown rush by Pharrell Carter. And then after Starnes lost a fumble on Plainfield's next drive, Carter scored again a minute and 2 seconds later. That is with 127 left in the quarter. And this time the extra point was blocked, bringing us to our current score of 20-7. We'll look at the individual statistics. Plainfield has started to establish the best passing attack it's established all year, which they needed to do because the rushing offense was being contained. Bryce Sabank has thrown decently. He's completed 4 of 8 passes for 66 yards. Ethan Ellis has 3 of those 4 receptions for 53 yards. Weston Wayrich the other for 13 yards. On the ground, Plainfield has not been shut down, but as I said, they've been contained. Luke Starnes, 12 rushes for 42 yards and a touchdown. Weston Wayrich, 5 rushes for 42 yards. Bryce Sabank, 1 for 5. Anyway, on the I'm sorry, Bryce Sabank, 2 for 11, excuse me. Ethan Ellis, 1 for 4, and Brandon Hendry, 1 for 0. And so then, meanwhile, for Decatur Central, Bo Polston, University of Toledo bound, has completed 7 of 11 passes for 62 yards and a touchdown. Kashmir Hicks has 5 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown. Carson Eisen has 2 receptions for 10 yards. On the ground, Pharrell Carter, player of the game so far. He has 10 rushes for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns, which came just a minute and 2 seconds apart late in the first half. And then Bo Polston has 5 rushes for 6 yards. So basically, with Decatur Central getting the ball first to start the second half, we've got to, not only get the ball back, but hopefully soon. And then we've got to come back and quickly make it a 1-possession game. And if we do that, we've got a fighting chance. If Decatur Central gets a touchdown on this opening drive, that would, just about put the game away, put it out of our reach. Because even though we've shown more through passing offense in this game than we have in our first 5 games, largely out of necessity, we still, I don't think, have the capability of coming back from a 3-possession deficit in the second half against a team of this magnitude. Decatur Central, one of the things that we run into most every time we play Decatur Central is their superior athletic ability. They are a program that they just always have great athletes. And so we got to beat them by, outsmarting, out hustling, out scrapping them. It's hard, but it can be done. In fact, we did it twice 2 years ago, once in the regular season, that 34-32 overtime win, and then in the sectional championship game, that absolutely Hollywood type finish that finally gave Coach Brian Woodard his elusive sectional championship. And his, he was 0 for 6 in sectional championship games prior to that. So anyway, there are some things to see that I like. And again, the 2 fumbles by Starnes are disappointing. I believe they're only his second and third fumbles of the season. And the first one, I don't even think should have counted. And I meant to look for a video of it this week, but hopefully these are his last fumbles of the season. Keep in mind, we are playing in the rain, so you have the wet field to deal with. So, you got to grade this one on a curve. But, we've got to get something going. I mean, and I think if we do lose this game, it's not necessarily going to be, the worst thing that could happen to us, because we could learn a lot from this game. And believe me, I've seen a lot of times when teams, have lost to a certain team during the regular season, but then came back and beat that team in the playoffs. In fact, it's happened the last 2 years between us and Harrison. The team that won the regular season matchup lost the playoff matchup. And I think what happens is a lot of the time when you beat a team in the regular season, you think you can do the same thing the second time around and it'll work just as well. But what happens is when you lose to a team and then you play them again in the playoffs, you think, okay, we lost. Let's look at the game tape. Let's see why we lost. Let's figure out a better game plan. I mean, the most extreme example, and I use this example all the time. I commentated Cascade basketball boys and girls for 3 years from 2016 to 2019. And the 2016-2017 girls Cascade team, they were serious Class 2A state championship contenders. And they beat South Putnam by 22 points in the regular season at South Putnam, 68-46. And, when we drew a first-round bye and we played South Putnam in the playoffs, it's, and we hosted the sectional out there at Cascade. I thought, okay, this is going to be a cakewalk. but they came out with a totally different game plan that we seemed completely unprepared for. They played a blitzing defense. They were up 16-5 by 11 points at the end of the first quarter, and we just spent the rest of the game playing catch up. And we did finally tie the game in the third quarter, first at 27 and then at 29. But we seemed to run out of gas in doing so, and we lost by 11. And that was a very, very, very bitter defeat, especially because that team. I mean, that was a team for the Cascade girls where everything just lined up perfectly. I mean, that was like a once a generation team that they were going to have for that small school. So disappointing loss, and I used it as a warning. So if we lose this game, and right now the odds are that we will, although it's certainly not insurmountable for us. It's certainly not insurmountable. It's certainly not an insurmountable 13-point lead, especially if we stop them on this first possession of the second half. But if we do lose this game, I think it'll force us to address some things that we weren't forced to address after the 5-0 start. And the main thing that we have to avoid is what I think was the emotional letdown we had last year, where we seemed to, our morale seemed to get broken, and we really crashed those. We did recover from the Decatur Central loss to beat Franklin the next week, but then we just got, the last three games just really were a very big disappointment. And then the tournament loss to Harrison was pretty close to a disaster, if not an outright disaster. But I think we've learned from that. I don't think we'll let there be that kind of emotional letdown this year. I think we'll come back, and if we do run into Decatur Central again in the playoffs, we'll come up with a better game plan, and hopefully we'll have a better passing offense instated by then. I think that this game, even if we come back to win this game, I think this game is going to make us realize we've got to get a better passing offense established. We can probably beat Franklin next week with Starnes and Wayrich running wild. We're probably going to need more than that, though, if we're going to beat Whiteland in 2 weeks and then Martinsville in 3 weeks. Martinsville, by the way, is they're the number 3 ranked team in Class 3A, and they're undefeated. So anyway, right now let's take a look at what else is going on in Hendricks County today. All 5 of the Hendricks County teams, in addition to us, canceled their games last night and rescheduled them for today. Starting off in Class 6A, the Brownsburg Bulldogs nearly lost their perfect record last week, but they held on for a 31-30 win over the currently 10th-ranked Fishers Tigers. This week, 5-0 Brownsburg is at this week. 5-0 Brownsburg is at number 2 for the 3rd consecutive week, and if they win tonight, they'll likely move up to number 1 next week because they host the currently number 1 ranked Westfield Shamrocks. Also in Class 6A, the Avon Orioles lost their 3rd consecutive game since their huge win over Ben Davis. The Orioles lost 10-7 to the Franklin Central Flashes. Now 1-4 tonight, Avon hosts Fishers, the team that Brownsburg beat last week. In Class 4A, the Danville Warriors got their 4th consecutive win since their season opening loss. It was a thrilling 36-35 overtime win over the Tri-West Bruins, another Hendricks County team. Danville is likely to win again today as they play the 3-2 Southmont Monties, a Class 2A team. And speaking of Tri-West, moving down to Class 3A, the Bruins are now 2-3 and on a 2-game losing streak. Tonight they will try to get back on track, visiting 3-2 Lebanon. And finally, in Class 3A, the Cascade Cadets are 5-0 for the first time ever here in the 59th year of their football program. Last week they took a long road trip to southwestern Indiana and got a 42-6 win over the Sullivan Golden Arrows. Tonight, Cascade visits the lovely community of Roachdale to play another 5-0 team, the number 10 ranked team in Class 2A, the North Putnam Cougars. And, when I was with Cascade, they often played North Putnam. And when I was trying to get people to go to their road games, when Cascade played at North Putnam, I always assured them that Roachdale is a much lovelier community than the name implies. And actually, it was named after a guy whose last name was Roach. I looked it up on Wikipedia just to find it out because I was curious about it. Well, now Decatur Central's returning to the field with 2:14 on the pregame on the halftime clock. And at this time, let's take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the second half with Decatur Central leading Plainfield 27 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone Julia Berberich, Ganell Financial, Kroon Family Construction, My IT Indy Ryan Grimes, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorworks, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sullivan Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes at Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we have 124 remaining on the halftime clock with your number one ranked Plainfield Quakers trailing the arch rival and 8th ranked Decatur Central Hawks by a score of 20-7. It's a game in which both teams struggled in the rain, but Decatur Central has contained Plainfield's offense, and Plainfield has not contained Plainfield has not contained a Decatur Central superstar running back Pharrell Carter, a junior who's rushed very well, gaining he's rushed 10 times for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I'll tell you, it's really interesting. I'm in my 13th season now of sports commentary, and I've started a tradition the last couple of years in which I go back and listen to the archives of my broadcasts. I try to always, the day of the 10th anniversary of a broadcast, or at least a few days after, re-listen to that broadcast from 10 years earlier. I think it's very interesting to listen back to my commentary. Sometimes hear things I don't remember myself saying. Sometimes I cringe about. I think, gee, I could have done a much better job calling that play today. Or sometimes I think, wow, it's really funny that I said that. And sometimes, like, I talk about things that were going on in the world at the time, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. So it's really interesting. And today I was listening to a game from 10 years and 2 days ago. It was from September the 26th, 2014. It was right here at Plainfield. JP Sinclair and I were commentating these two teams against each other, Plainfield and Decatur Central. And that was the year where that Plainfield started off decimated with injuries before recovering, getting strong later in the season, getting some guys healthy, getting some younger guys to improve and build some chemistry together. And they ended up nearly winning the sectional. They lost to Ron Colley 24-17 in the sectional championship game after Ron Colley beat us 27-3 in week 4 of the regular season. But anyway, all that to say, I discovered when I was looking back at all the players from both teams in the game, which Decatur Central won 59-21, and let me sidetrack a little bit. If you listen to JP's and my commentary in that game, we didn't like that we were getting destroyed, but we didn't despair either. I kept on saying during the game, look, better times are ahead. This is a banged up team, and it's a young team right now. And things got better that season. At that point when we were losing 59-21, if anybody had known that we were going to make it, we were going to win 2 playoff games and then lose by only 7 to Ron Colley in the sectional championship, we would have taken it. But anyway, what was really interesting for me to discover is that 2 Decatur Central players from that game made the NFL. Their starting quarterback, Tommy Stevens, and then their running back, Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone Tracy, now a rookie with the New York Giants. He was only a freshman at the time, and then Stevens was a senior. Tracy played collegiately at Iowa, then Purdue. Then Stevens played collegiately at Penn State, then Mississippi State. And Tracy's having a pretty good rookie year with the Giants. Stevens played with the Carolina Panthers in 2020, and now he's in his 3rd year in the Canadian Football League with the Calgary Stampeders, and he's doing very, very well. He already has 24 rushing touchdowns through 3 seasons, and get this, he holds the all-time CFL record for most rushing touchdowns in a game by a quarterback with 4. And two of his touchdown rushes are 85 and 71 yards. So great to see guys I commentated, doing so well. And, I know that game, that it's never fun to lose 59-21, but looking back 10 years, hey, we were up against two future NFL players. So it's really interesting to look back at that game, and what became of those two players. So, it was a tough loss, but, nothing to hang our heads over. Our kids gave a great effort that night, considering everything they were up against. And I was still proud of them that night, and I am 10 years later. So now getting ready to start the second half here. It's a deep kick and another touchback there for Hayob. So Hayob brings his A game to start the second half. Hopefully the rest of the team will, and especially specifically, hopefully our defense will bring our A game right now. But yeah, to my knowledge, I've commentated 6 guys in my 13 years of commentary who've made the NFL, and that's the only instance I know of one high school team that I commentated having 2 future NFL players. The other NFL players I've commentated, Terry McLaurin of Cathedral, Jeremy Chin of Fishers, Peyton Hendershot of Tri-West, and hold that thought. So anyway, hand off there, and Carter takes it up. He's going to be close to the first down if he doesn't actually have it. Carter picking up where he left off in the first half. Unquestionably the player of the game. Polston is capable of, big numbers. He torched us for over 350 yards as a freshman a couple of years ago. He's on his way to play for the University of Toledo, a Division I school. But he, in this game, possibly because of the rain, he hasn't thrown a lot, and especially has not thrown a lot deep, though he's capable of it. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Carter in the backfield, Polston and shotgun, 11:29 to go, and counting here in the third quarter. High snap, but he gets it. And now fakes the handoff. He takes it up about 5 himself. So Polston, his 6th keeper of the game. He's rushed 6 times. Carter has rushed 11. Give him credit for 6 on that one. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now Carter, this time he's stopped for only a 1 or 2. He's been tough to bring down in this game, but we got it there. Give him credit for 2. And now we've got the clock stopped. I'm not sure what the issue is, but 4 of the 5 officials are deliberating around the ball. 3rd and 3. So very critical 3rd down for the Quakers defense here. Decatur Central leads 20-7. We're at the start of the 3rd quarter. If Decatur Central gets a touchdown here, they will have a nearly insurmountable three possession lead. If Plainfield prevents a score, we can score a touchdown and make it a 1 possession game. So we got to get a stop here, boys. So now, so I'm moving at the line, but now handoff there, and he's going to. I think that was Carter again. He might have it. It's going to be within a yard either way. So they said Carson Ison there on that rush. That was his first rush of the game, and he gets 4. So that does move the chains. So it's 1st and 10 now at their own 41. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff there. and he's got up for about 5. I think that was Ison again there. Ison is a junior, 6 feet, 165. Give him credit for 5 there. Decatur Central jerseys are very hard to read the numbers in the current lighting situation. 2nd and 5 at the 46 here. And now a keeper there by Polston, and we're ready for him. And he might gain a couple, but it's going to be another 3rd down, maybe 3. Polston, a big guy at 6'2", 205, good quarterback size. They only give him 1, so it's 3rd and 4. Polston's capable of taking over a game by himself, but he's been a game manager in this one, very possibly because of the range. So now 3 receivers to the right now, 1 running back, and then 1 receiver to the left. 8:20 to go and counting in the 3rd quarter. Decatur Central 20, and now screen pass. I believe that's 6, and he's got the 1st down and out of bounds after picking up about 1 more than he needed. Polston's completed 8 of 12 passes, most of them short. 5 yards there. Hicks has 6 of the 8 receptions. 1st and 10 now at the Plainfield 48, Decatur Central 20, Plainfield 7. And now another keeper by Polston. This time he's hit short, just past the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down. So it's going to be 2nd and long here. Polston showing a lot of confidence in his rushing. Under 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter now. Give him credit for 2 on that one. Polston 8 of 15 by my count. Second and eight, Decatur Central at the 46. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1 running back. Now fakes the handoff, screen pass over to the right, and he's knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 4. So another 5 yards there. Polston's completed 9 of 13. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now the running back, he gets it, and he trips. Boy, so that'll bring up 4th down. So it looks like they're going to mark him down for a loss. Boy, big break for us. So Decatur Central likely to punt now. They've used up nearly 5 minutes on this 1st possession. So looks like it's Starnes back deep to receive. He calls for a fair catch, and he takes it around the 11. So Plainfield, they did what they needed to do. They wish we'd gotten the ball back a little bit earlier, but still we stopped them from scoring. That's the most important thing. We got a little over a quarter and a half to make up 13 points. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. I thought that if we had rain, it would disrupt Decatur Central more than us because we rely a lot less on passing offense than they do. But like Martinsville did to us in that rain-drenched game last year, Decatur Central has adapted, and I give them all the credit in the world for that. Kyle Enright now in his 100th game as a head coach. So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff. And he's got some room over on the right side. Starnes got the 1st down and more past the 25 up to about the 30. So it's going to be, I believe that's his longest gain of the evening. He was 12 for 42 by my count before that. They marked him out of bounds at the 24, but still a 13-yard pickup. 6:40 to go in the third quarter. Plainfield trailing by 13. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Starnes, the running back. And now screen pass over to Starnes. He's got it past the 25, 30, 35, and up to almost the 40. So that's a gain of about 15 there on the screen pass from Sabank. I believe that's going to be counted a forward pass. It looked to me like it went forward. We'll have to see how the statisticians score it, but that was how it looked to me. Nevertheless, 15 yards we're at first and 10 at 39, starting to move the ball. We've moved it 28 yards in 2 plays now. Let's keep it up, boys. And now, hand off there to Starnes, but this time he's brought down. They're all over him, and he's brought down for a loss. Three-yard loss there. Nevertheless, Sabank, he is doing some good things through the air. So now we've got Beers to the right, Garver and Ellis to the left. Starnes still in there at running back. And now we've got offsides against Decatur Central. So we lost 5 yards. We lost 2 yards on the last play, but we just got that back in 3 more. So now it's 2nd and 7 here for the Quakers at their own 42. 5:45 to go here in the second quarter. Trailing by 13, trying to defend their number 1 ranking. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And now screen pass there is complete there to Ellis, and he's brought down for a very short gain. Going to be a very critical 3rd down for the Plainfield offense. They only get 1 yard there. Ellis with 4 of the 6 Plainfield receptions today. The sophomore showing a lot of promise. He got our first score of the season back in week 1 on a trick play that set things off for us, and only a sophomore. He's got a bright future for us. And now handoff there to Wayrich, but he only gets a yard or 2, so it's going to bring up 4th down. It wouldn't have shocked me if we had gone for it there, but nevertheless, the punting unit is coming out now. Keep in mind, Decatur Central has been to the top. Decatur Central has been to the Class 5A state championship game twice in the last 6 years, losing both times. But nevertheless, that accounts for 2 of the 4 times in mid-state conference history that one of their teams has gotten to this to a state championship game. The other times, Plainfield getting to the Class 4A game in 2000, and then Whiteland going to the Class 5A game 2 years ago, losing to Valparaiso. The Mid-State Conference has never won a football state championship at any level. So the punt goes down to the 15 where it stops. And now we got a couple of flags down. Let's see what that's all about. Well, while they're deliberating, I'll tell you, my son Liam and I watch a lot of movies. And one thing that we get a kick out of is looking on YouTube at clips of regular TV versions of R-rated movies, and some of the things that they say in place of things that you can't say on TV. Yeah. And sometimes what they put in place of what's in the real version of the movie is so ridiculous, it's hilarious. And there's a scene in Snakes on the Plane where there's one line, "Snakes on a Plane." Yeah, and what's in the theatrical version, I'm not allowed to repeat on the air, but in the the regular TV version. I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. And I'm thinking, I'm 53 years old. I think I'm a fairly intelligent guy. I have no idea what a Monday to Friday plane is. So when, I saw this plane flying over the stadium a little while ago, I asked Liam, is that a Monday to Friday plane? Because he and I, talk about how ridiculous that line is. So now Decatur Central on offense, and the first pass is a little too high. I think it was intended for, couldn't, looked. I'm sorry, I can't see the number. It's a very bad color scheme for Decatur Central's numbers. I'm having a very hard time reading them. I apologize for that. Nevertheless, Polston 9 of 14. Second and 10 now. No scoring here yet in the second half. Second possession by this is the second Decatur Central possession. They ended up punting on their first, but they used nearly half of the quarter to do so, which they can afford to do with a 3-possession lead. Now Polston is he was motioning over one of his guys, and then he ended up calling a timeout. So obviously some confusion there about what they were supposed to do. But it says a lot. As far as I know, I think Plainfield has only put one player in the NFL in its history. That's James Hurst. He played collegiately at the University of North Carolina. And let's see, he played in the NFL I'm pulling the stats here. He played for 10 years, the first 6 for the Baltimore Ravens, 2014 to 2019, then the last 4 for the New Orleans Saints. So, he announced his retirement this year. He's 32 years old, a native of Danville. And obviously, Coach Woodard was very proud of him. And so when you consider that Decatur Central had 2 guys on one team, I mean, if you put 2 players in the NFL in your school history, you're doing an amazing job. So, when you have 2 guys on one team who make the NFL, like that Decatur Central team in 2014 had, that is just an incredible achievement. And, our kids did as well as they could have in that game. And now we've got, we got the place whistle dead. The 2 guys look like they're about to go at each other. So this has been a really physical, very tense game. Okay, it's going to be against Decatur Central, so it brings it down 2nd and 15. We got to take advantage here, boys. 3:54 to go. The game more than 2/3 of the way done. Still got 13 points to make up. I as much as I love being number one, maybe it might be good for the kids at this point to get knocked down a few notches, to bring them down to earth. And so now 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and screen pass, but he's brought down for just about a 5-yard gain. I believe that was Eisen again. Yeah, Carson Eisen, yeah. So that'll make it 3rd and 10 now. So no excuse for not getting him off the field here, boys. No excuse whatsoever. Got to get the ball back. And especially without letting him get a first down here, because that means that, we'd likely get the ball in good field position. So now it's incomplete. It's incomplete. So 4th and 10 now. So the the Hawks are going to punt from around the goal line. All right. Now we got to take advantage of this, boys. Now we blocked a PAT attempt earlier. Boy, it'd be great if we could block this one here and get a touchdown out of it. Starnes is standing right at the 50. Slow snap, and he gets it. And now Starnes, and now it bounces at the 45. Starnes takes it off a few bounces. He's got room around the 45, 40. He's got some blocking. 35, 30, 25, 20. And so he's knocked out of bounds around the 17. So the Quakers are in business here. We can make it a 1-possession game here, still with over a quarter to play. So we can do this, boys. We got one here. It's a one. We got a touchdown here. It's a one possession game. Now we got a flag, but let's see what that's about. Let's see what the flag is. I don't think it's going to negate the return, or it might be subtracted from. If it's against us, it might be subtracted from the return. But let's see. A lot of penalties in this game. .252 to go now. So maybe apparently there's no flag after. I saw at least two flags down, but I guess they waved off the penalty or whatever. So now Ellis to the right, Garver to the left, two running backs in there. Sabank in shotgun. We start over at the 16, gives it to Starnes. He's up for about 3 or 4. .240 to go and counting, and they give him credit for 4. Starnes has been contained today, but he's had some good moments. 15 for 57 and a touchdown, number 11 on the year for him. So now Garver and Ellis out to the left. Wayrich and Starnes, the running backs, each standing on one side of Sabank in shotgun. 2:22 to go. Plainfield down by 13, a little over a quarter to make it up. Now, handoff there to Starnes. He's got some room on the left side. Past the 10-5. Did he get in? Yes. Luke Starnes on a 12-yard rush with 2:10 to go in the third quarter, and the Quakers are back in this game. It's down to one possession. All right. We're hanging tough. Number 2 on the game, number 12 on the season for Luke Starnes. Over 900 yards on the season, now virtually assured of getting 1,000 yards this season. First score of the second half. So Hayob, 20 of 21 on extra points on the season. This kick is up, and it is good. So with 2:10 to go in the third quarter, your Plainfield Quakers hanging tough. They trail the Decatur Central Hawks 20-14 here on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Cinderstone, Julia Berberich, Ganell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support of the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to resume play. Your Plainfield Quakers have just made it a one-possession game on a 12-yard rush by Luke Starnes, his second of the game, 12th of the season, making the score 20-14 against the arch-rival Decatur Central Hawks. Plainfield enters this game ranked number 1 at 5-0. Decatur Central ranked number 8 at 2-2. They had a no contest against New Palestine. The game was called at the game was ended at the half with the two teams tied. So Hayob about to kick off. His first 2 kicks have gone in the end zone today, and this one it's going to be a little short. Fielded about the 2, right up to the 10, 15. Oh, he's showing some speed there. We got to get rid of him. One man to beat. 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Oh, no, he's going all the way for the touchdown. Oh, no. Kashmir Hicks. That's his second kickoff return for a touchdown this year. Boy, when I saw him take off, I thought we better have somebody on him, but we didn't. So 12 seconds is all it takes for Decatur Central to get that 2-possession lead now. A 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Kashmir Hicks. First name spelled Kasmir. So now Vogel on the extra point. So movement, and we got a flag here. I just looked up the spelling of the song Kashmir. I looked up the Led Zeppelin song Kashmir to see it's. I couldn't remember the spelling. The song is spelled Kashmir. Classic track from the Physical Graffiti album. So now they're going for the 2-point conversion to make up for the lost extra point, and they got it. They got it. So 28-14. So 158 to go in the third quarter. Your score: Decatur Central 28, Plainfield 14. The Quakers not out of it, but they got to get something going again. And boy, what a momentum-killing play that was. And it's what we did to Mooresville, not this year, but last year, when they finally got a touchdown. And one of the Vanderbush kids took the ensuing kickoff in for the touchdown, which totally shattered the momentum that Mooresville was building. And I apologize. I don't remember. I lose track of. I get Kale and Caden confused all the time. Let me look it up here. I mean, of all that's the problem with having brothers who who have almost identical names, and their younger brother Cohen, now a freshman with us. Cohen spelled like the Cohen brothers, Coen. So it's a deep kick. Ellis takes it near the goal line up to the 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, and he's hit hard, brought down around the 22. He was looking for a hole, but he just didn't get it. Okay, it was Caden Vanderbush who got the touchdown return last year. It's Kale, the older brother who plays at Iowa. So now hand off to Starnes. Start the drive. He's got room on the left side. Past the 25, past the 30. First down, 35, 40, 45. And he's pushed out of bounds near midfield. He gets out of bounds, which is good at this point. I mean, we need to preserve as much of the clock as we can to make up these two scores in just a little over a quarter. 25 yards there by Luke Starnes. 17 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. So our offense is playing better after the shaky start. So now Garver and Ellis to the right, 2 running backs now. Hand off to Wayrich, but they're right on top of him, and he gets maybe just 1. Starnes has started to hit his drive. Wayrich still has been, pretty well contained most of the game, although he did get 13 yards on a reception. And now we've got a Quaker injured here. Hopefully this is not serious with 1:35 to go here in the third quarter. So the Vanderbush brothers, Kale, Caden, in order, Kale, Caden, and Cohen. Cohen is the one who we have now. Kale went on to the University of Iowa, and Caden to Eastern Michigan University. So the oldest two both went to Division I schools. And so hopefully Cohen will follow suit. He's only a freshman, already 6'3". A little, he's 160, probably needs to gain about 20 pounds, but certainly very promising. Vanderbush, for anybody who knows anything about onomastics, the study of names, obviously knows Vanderbush is a Dutch or Belgian name. And The Dutch actually are the tallest people in the world, so no surprise that the Vanderbushes are so tall. And of course, another example of a Dutch person, well known to Indiana, Rick Smits, former Indiana Pacers center, 7'4", I believe, still the tallest Pacer in team history, who I'm glad to say has made his home here in the Indianapolis area long after retiring. So anyway, it's I'm trying to see his number. I think it's 71, the injured Quaker. Okay, and Noah Butler, he is a junior, 6'4", 345 offensive lineman. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's walking off the field groggily with assistance. One thing that's good to see is he doesn't seem like he's afraid of putting weight on either foot. So 2nd and 10 at 2nd and 10 now for the Quakers. Now it's incomplete pass. He intended for Wayrich, so a very critical 3rd and 10 for the Quakers. 1:28 to go in the third quarter. Third and 10 for the Quakers are throwing 47, 1:28 to go in the third quarter. They trail by 14 points, 28-14. And if Decatur Central hangs on to win, I imagine they'll move up several notches from their current position of number 8. Plainfield would probably move down to about 4 or so. They wouldn't move down a whole lot, I wouldn't think. So now 2 receivers to the right. Now, hand up there to Wayrich. He's got some room on the right side, past the 45, past the 50, and he's up to about the 47 or 48. He's not going to have the first down. I think we got to go for this here. We're in Decatur Central territory. Wayrich picks up 4. Yeah, he had to work hard for him, but he did get him. I can't imagine we're going to punt here. I think this is a time when you really got to take a chance. I mean, 4th and 5 inside Decatur Central territory is not extremely high risk. Maybe it'll be a fake. Yes, it is a fake. And we got the first and more. Yes, past the 40. All right. All right. That was Alex Holsclaw, the 2nd consecutive year he's gotten us a first down on a fake on a fake punt attempt. All right. So we got 14 yards there by Holsclaw. So the Quakers are in business here with 40 seconds left in the that'll be a 10-yard gain, by the way. Takes us up to the 38, 28 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter. 1 receiver to each side now. Fake stand up to Starnes, gives it over to Wayrich, and he's up for about 8, up to about the 30. So the Quakers starting to hit their stride. Wayrich starting to do a little better on the ground. That likely will be the last play of the quarter. 8 seconds to go. Yeah, they're letting it run out. So your Plainfield Quakers, 12 minutes to go to make up 2 scores. Your score at the end of 3 here at Red Pride Stadium. Decatur Central 28, Plainfield 14. We'll be back with a thrilling conclusion after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football is brought to you by the generous donation of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, business partners. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the fourth quarter of this game with your Plainfield Quakers trailing the Decatur Central Hawks 28-14. Plainfield enters the game ranked number 1 with a 5-0 record. Decatur Central opened the season ranked, but fell with a couple of losses. They entered this game 2-2, along with 1 no contest, and they are currently ranked 8th in the USA Today network poll. So now we got Garver to the right, Garver to the left, Ellis to the right, and it looks like we got Wayrich and Wayrich and now Wayrich gets it and he's up and he's got the first down and maybe one or two more. Starnes was the other guy in the backfield, by the way. I just didn't get out of my mouth. Sorry about that. But nevertheless, Wayrich starting to show signs of getting on stride. Only give him credit for 2, but that was all he needed. So 1st and 10 now, Quakers at the Decatur Central 28, trying to make it a one-position game here early in the 4th quarter. 2 receivers to each side, 2 running backs, a bonk in shotgun. Now gives it to Wayrich again. He breaks a couple of tackles and he gets up about 4 or 5. I guess they figure they keep giving it to him, he'll get a breakthrough, and he's threatening to. He hasn't gotten a super breakthrough, but he's done a solid job. 2nd and 6 now at the 24 for the Quakers. 11:09 to go in the quarter. They're down by 14. So Ellis to the right, Garver to the left, Wayrich and Starnes in the backfield, Sabonk in shotgun. Under 11 minutes to go now. They hurry into formation. 10 on the play clock. The snap, and now it fakes the handoff, rolls left, and it's incomplete. It's incomplete. Hendry was the intended receiver. Sabonk has thrown 12 passes in this game. I think that's a career high for him. He's completed half of them for 82 yards. One of them, I believe it was a forward pass. It could have been counted as lateral. It was close, but I felt pretty certain it went forward, so I counted it as a pass. So we'll see how it gets put in the box score. So now a critical 3rd and 6 for the Quakers, obviously in 4-down territory here. So now Garver out to the right. Sort of a bunch formation here, only one. And now we've got a flag here before the delay of game against the Quakers. Oh no excuse for that. So now 3rd and 6 goes to a much more challenging 3rd and 11, bringing the ball back to the 29. Come on, boys, let's make up for it. They are in 4-down territory, but now we got 3 receivers in there. The Quakers have not run 3 receivers much this year. Only 1 running back. It's Starnes here. And now they and now it's he didn't throw. He threw to Starnes, but not much on it. It was a badly underthrown ball by Sabonk. Fourth and 11. You got to go for it here. 10:41 to go. Down by 14 points. Maybe a trick play. They've already done a successful fake punt on this drive that worked. Well, obviously, if it was successful, obviously it worked. What am I thinking? All right. So Ellis to the right, and now they take another timeout because, boy, this is not good. This is something that Coach Bless is going to have to address. They already had on the last play a 5-yard penalty for delay of game. Now the play clock was down to 2, and they just used a timeout here that you would like to save till the last couple of minutes of the game. So that is, you don't see many fundamental mistakes by this team. So that's obviously something that it's got to be addressed in practice, before next Friday's game at Franklin, which should be a win, not a guarantee. But if we play our A game, it shouldn't be a big problem. This game I felt coming in was about 50-50. I thought the rain might play into our favor, but it hasn't. Usually rain favors the team that rushes less, which is us by a wide margin, but Decatur Central, there's a reason they've been to 2 state championship games in the last 6 years. So now Ellis to the right, Garver to the left, Sabonk and Starnes in the backfield. The game could hinge on this play. 4th and 11. at the Decatur Central 29, 10:41 to go, trailing by 14. Let's go, boys. Make the play of your lives right here. And now fix the handoff. And Sabak, and he's sacked. It's going to be a loss of about 8 yards. Oh, no. Oh, no. So now the pressure cranked up on our defense with 10:36 to go. Disappointing way for the drive to end. And Plainfield has not played badly, by the way. It was an 8-yard loss. Plainfield has not played badly, but they have not played as well as they could have. You know, I think you got to grade on the curve to some extent because we are dealing with the rain here, but, you know, the delay of game and then nearly 2 consecutive delay of game penalties. No excuse for that. So now Polston goes in. He's brought down after it picks up about 4. Polston has really been aggressive at running the ball tonight. Had a little success with it. Give him 4 on that one. I have a 9 of 19. He has 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. Very talented athlete. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back. Polston now fix the handoff over to Hicks, and he's got the first down past the 50 to about the 49. So that's going to be about a 10-yard gain there by Hicks. Polston's completed 11 of 16 passes. He's been very conservative. They mark it right at the 50. So 11 receptions, only 86 yards, not even 8 yards a reception. He's been very conservative, possibly because of the rain. He is capable of slinging it. It's been a pleasure commentating that young man the last 3 years, and he'll be back another year. And now handoff, he gets to about 6 up the middle. So he's number 0, and he is not on the roster here, part of the annoying charm of high school ball. Second and 4 for the Hawks now at the Plainfield 44, 8:40 to go in the game. Decatur Central with a 14-point lead. So now fix the handoff, and Polston takes it himself. He probably has he has the first and a couple of more. Polston's 10th keeper of the game. Gets 5 on that one. Oh, the other future NFL player I commentated when he was in high school was Carson Steele. Who's now a rookie with the Kansas City Chiefs. He played his high school ball at Center Grove. I commentated Abe on their regional game back in 2018. And now screen pass knocked out of bounds there after a short gain. Give him 3 on that one, bringing up 2nd and 7. And now rush up the middle. He's going to be close to the first. It's going to be another one by Polston. Big 3rd and 2 here. Decatur Central at the 31, 7:27 to go. A score, even a field goal, would basically clinch it. If Plainfield gets the ball back, they have an outside shot, but they have just about no margin for error left. So now screen pass is complete over to Hicks. He's got the first down and more inside the 25, pushed out of bounds up for a gain of several. Not the best game of Bo Polston's career, but it is certainly a very efficient game. He's handled it very professionally. Caleb Hicks on another reception there, first down and 10 at the Plainfield 24 for Decatur Central. They line up now, Hicks and another receiver to the left, and then one receiver to the right. Number 0 there in the backfield, whose name we do not know. And now he's brought down for a gain of, well, he was on his way down, and he reached out for maybe a couple more. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many uniform number changes here in high school ball. They give him credit for give him credit for 2 yards there, bringing up 2nd and 8 at the 22. 6:38 to go and counting in the game. Decatur Central being very conservative now with a 14-point lead. Plainfield trying to get the ball back without giving up any more points, and hopefully with enough time left to get 2 touchdowns. And now fakes the handoff. Polston goes around the right side. Hopefully we'll get him out of bounds here, but we don't. He gets about 4 there, so it's going to be 3rd and about 4. There is a flag, hopefully against them, but we'll see. Polston took it up for a 4 or 5. So face mask on Plainfield, so that adds 5 yards to the end of the run. So 4 yards by Polston, followed by 4 yards for the penalty, bringing up 1st and 10 at the 12. The Hawks trying to put this one away. Not a heartbreaking loss, disappointing, but not devastating. And now handoff and a screen pass to Hicks, and he takes it all the way in for the touchdown, and that just about clinches it. Well, Polston obviously, headed for University of Toledo, a Division I school, and Hicks, a junior, Polston's a junior too. Very likely that he will be a Division I. Very likely that Hicks will be a Division I player also, especially now with 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown this season, and the extra point is good. So with 5:50 to go, Plainfield now down 35-14. But even though there's very little chance they're going to come back to win now, what they've got to do is play this. We have nearly half a quarter to play. Make the most of it. Just start, just make some good offensive plays, get some more points, and play with red pride, and Decatur Central. When Plainfield, the first game I ever commentated in this series was 12 years ago. It was also a Saturday game because of a weather postponement from the day before. I remember it very well. When Plainfield won that game, that evened the series at 25-25. And then, Decatur Central, they won 13 in a row. Then we won the 2 games in 2022. And then now they're about to win their 2nd in a row against us, meaning that they will lead the series 40-27. And, Decatur Central, I mean, they only have about 100 students more than we do. They have around 1880. We have about 1770. Hold that thought. Deep kick now. It's taken near the end zone by Starnes up to the 5, 10, 15. Now over to the right side of the field. He's got some room. 25, 30, 35. Still on his feet, pushing forward, and he gets up to about the 36 or 37. So good effort there. I like that, he's showing the spirit. But really, I mean, they give us something to aspire to, to have the kind of a Division I talent year in and year out as they do. And, we're, a very underrated Class 5A program. And I just, hope we'll get to Decatur Central level, and I think it's doable. Tyler Bless is only 32 or 33 years old. And now a pass there to Ellis, and he dodges a tackle and then gets up for about 6 or 7 yards. So the Quakers, they're still showing some fight. And now we got another player down, though. Hopefully it's not serious. Yeah, he's still down. He's being attended to. But I can't tell who it is from my vantage point because there's two officials standing between me and him. I believe that Tyler Bless, I know there was Ellis, he was slow to get up, but now he's walking off the field on his own power. Having gained 8 on that play. Giving him 5 receptions in this game for 62 yards. Sabank closing in on 2nd and 2 now for the Quakers. 5:20 to go at their own 45. One receiver to each side now. Now Wayrich gets it. He's got the first down and more up to about the 50. So Wayrich has started to run better here in the second half. Give him credit for 6 there. Putting us inside the inside Decatur Central territory. 5:03 to go now in the game. 2 receivers to the left, now 1 to the right. Empty backfield. Now a screen pass. Oh, he just didn't get the grip on it. Through a screen pass there to Wayrich. Although it might be best they dropped it because I think he probably would have been hit, maybe even for a loss. Sabank now 15 passes by my count. After only throwing once last week. But I think this game, this loss, and I'll repeat this again in the post-game segment, this loss can end up being the best thing that's ever happened to the Quakers this season if they'll let it be, if they'll learn from it and make the needed changes. So now a handoff there to Starnes, and they're right on top of him. He gets maybe 1 or 2. Starnes, I have him 18 for 95 and 2 touchdowns, but he had to work for all of them. And now we got a flag here, hopefully against Decatur Central. It does stop the clock with 4:35 to go, and it's going to be personal foul. So we got 15 free yards. So now that takes us from the 48 to the 33. We got to take advantage of this, even though we're not likely to make up 3 touchdowns in the last 4:35. Still, we've got to show that we can take advantage. One of the reasons that we've lost this game is that we failed to take advantage of a lot of one reason that we've lost this game. I mean, we would have needed definitely close to a perfect performance to win, but one reason that we've lost is that is that there are just too many opportunities that we've had that we did not take advantage of, especially after recovering that fumble by Carter, which is just about the only mistake that they've made in this game. So two receivers now to the right, one to the left, one running back, 4:32 to go. Plainfield trying to finish on a positive note. They trail by 21. Screen pass now. And now it's, I believe that's, and he's got a first down and more. So Ryan Garver with a gain of about 15 yards there. Give him, they got even better spot than I thought. A 14-yard gain there. That puts Sabank over 100 yards by my count and gives Garver his first reception of the game. And now it's screen pass over to the Stars. He's got inside the 10, inside the 5. All right. So the Quakers threatening to finish this game on a positive note. And, make it close. Starnes' second reception of the game. The first was for 15. That's for that was for 16, bringing up first and goal at the 4. 4:01 to go. And now handoff to Wayrich. He drives forward. He does not get in, however, gets about halfway there. Second and goal at the 2 now. Come on, boys, let's just get the score here. And then go for an onside kick. And now gives it to Wayrich again, and he plows forward, but I think they stopped him a yard short. The clock is still running. And now we got a late flag. So they give apparently there's no fumble, and apparently there's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Decatur Central. It looked like they were complaining about the call. Or are the and I'm just confused. There we got we still have 3 officials deliberating. So okay, so they ruled that Wayrich fumbled after all. So yeah, maybe they should have given it to Starnes instead, with Wayrich having been contained better all night. But nevertheless, I mean, we weren't likely to win either way. But disappointing that we missed a chance to get a score there, especially after we moved the ball so well on that drive. And so Plainfield, after the 5-0 start, about to suffer their first loss. Wasn't it's a disappointing loss, but not a terrible loss. And now the ball half the distance to the goal. Sorry. So now, the unsportsmanlike penalty, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Decatur Central moves it half the distance to the goal, which is just from the 2 to the 1. God, I didn't think unsportsmanlike conduct was so hard to say, but anyway, all right. So Decatur Central takes over at the 1. Hopefully, we'll get a turnover here. But Hicks, let's see. So Hicks pounds it forward about 5 yards to get them out of the danger zone. A good power run there, 2:54 to go now. Decatur Central very well could run out the rest of the clock on this drive. And now another handoff there. And this time he could go. Oh, no. One man to beat. 40, 45, 50. Oh, no. He's going all the way for the touchdown. 94 yards. We do have a flag, so it could be coming back, but let's see. I think it's going to be coming back. But let's see. Boy, so many flags in this game. I don't know if rain-drenched games are more prone to penalties. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I've never even thought about it before, but we've certainly had a lot in this game. And now another flag. Boy, this might be the most penalized game I've ever commentated, and this is my 135th varsity game as a commentator. And we're still not clear whether the touchdown counts or not, by the way. Three dead ball personal fouls. Goodness gracious. So now this touchdown is showing on the scoreboard. Why would 2:25 to go in the game, and I apologize for the confusion, but everybody up here in the press box is confused. And so now are they going to? Looks like they're going. The result of one of those dead ball personal fouls is going to be that they're going to attempt an extra point from 35 yards instead of the standard 20. But boy, this has been a bizarre game from an officiating standpoint. I so much wish that the officials were mic'd in this game, and that would make my job a lot easier. But anyway, Ashton Vogel for 35 yards on the PAT now, and it is up, and it is good. Even for Ashton Vogel, 35 yards is a chip shot. So with 2:25 to go in the game, your score: Decatur Central 42, Plainfield 12. So just a moment. Yeah, I just confirmed. That was Caleb Hicks who had that 94-yard kickoff return. So, I'm sorry, it was Caleb Hicks. I'm sorry, Cashmere Hicks, who had that 90 94-yard rushing touchdown. So Caleb Hicks, obviously, I don't know, do you give Pharrell Carter the player of the game, with his going 12 for 127 on rushing with 2 touchdowns, or Caleb Hicks, who had a 98-yard, or do you give it to Caleb Hicks, who had a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown and a 94-yard rush for a touchdown? I do not I do not know the answer to that question. Maybe this is one where you give a co-game ball, but yeah, this is a game in which the final score is not quite as bad as it seems. Of course, it's not necessarily the final score. We still could get a late score here to make it a little less bad, but as it is now, 28 points when you enter the game. Number one in your class, and your opponent's number 8, you don't expect they're going to beat you by 28. 28, by the way, is what we lost. 28 is what we beat Greenwood by last week, 28-0. And by the way, coming into this game, so now Decatur Central will be kicking off from the 10 because of all the penalties. This is crazy here. But I'm sorry if I seem confused. That's how crazy, and now the offsides on the kickoff. So they were going to kick off from the 10. I guess now they'll move it back to the 5. Well, hopefully we'll get another score here, but yeah, there have been so many penalties in this game, and without mic'd officials, and with the officials sometimes waiting literally a few minutes after deliberating for several minutes before announcing the call. A lot of times I'm just sitting here waiting, and now it's a squib. It's fielded by about the 47 up to the 40, 35. It's got room on the left side to 30. Spins around, takes it inside up to about the 24. That was Tashawn Callahan. Takes it up to, so Plainfield will have one more chance to score here, at least one more chance. Hopefully we'll take advantage of this one. Story of this game for Plainfield: too many wasted opportunities, too many points left on the field. And, coming into this game, I was just afraid that we didn't have, I thought the difference might be that we just, like usual, don't quite have athletes the magnitude of Decatur Central's players. And, we got great kids. And now hand off to Wayrich, and he takes her on the right side. He's inside the 10. So that's, I believe, going to be his best gain of the evening or the afternoon or whatever it is. Got to give him, so Wayrich now 15 for 89. So first and the goal at the 7 now. And now handoff to, I believe that's Starnes. Yeah, it's Starnes, and he takes it up to about the 4. And now under 2 minutes to go. Give him credit for 3 on that one. I have him 19 for 98 and 2 touchdowns. Number 11 and 12 on the season. So now Garvey to the left, Ellis to the right, 140 to go. And now handoff there to Starnes, and he plows his way up for about 2. So still a chance to get one more score here. That was Henry there on the carry, his second carry of the game. Bringing up 3rd and goal at the 2. Go on, boys, let's get a score here. And now Wayrich gets in for the touchdown. Boy, he had a rough game. I'm glad he gets a score here. His first on the game, his 11th on the season. 42-20, and my son just showed me a picture of my grandniece, Eliana Joe. my grandniece Ileana Joe, who celebrates her first birthday a week from Monday. That's October 7th. So good to see a picture of her. I haven't met her yet. She lives out there in Sacramento, California. So now the extra point is up, and it is good. What's interesting is that they Decatur Central didn't even attempt to Decatur Central didn't even attempt to defend that one. Maybe they just didn't want any more penalties. But anyway, I'm glad to see Wayward's get a score tonight because he had a rough game, but yeah, he persevered and he still had some good moments. And here's the thing, if we're stopped this much by Decatur Central, I mean, the thing is, if if he and Starnes are both contained against Decatur Central, and yet they still score touchdowns, they still get about 100 yards each. I both have them in the 90s right now. I have both of them in the 90s right now. That's a good testament because Decatur Central is almost always a top 10, very often a top 5 team, and again, 2 state championship game appearances the last 6 years. And they've been unquestionably the biggest, the most successful program in the Mid-State Conference over the last decade. I'd give them the slight edge over Whiteland. So, Plainfield, Tyler Bless, he's only 32, 33 years old. He's comes from a great coaching family. His dad, Mark, and then his uncles Scott and Tim, all very accomplished high school coaches in Indiana. Of course, now we have his dad, Mark, on staff as an assistant here at Plainfield, which is great. And, I think he's going to be here a long time, and he's going to make us an annual top 10, maybe even an annual top 5 program, and hopefully get us that elusive state championship. But I think the program is definitely moving up. And now a mid-range kick, a fair catch, taken at the 31. So Plainfield has 2 timeouts, but with 105 to go into 21-point deficit, we probably won't use them, but we'll see. Look, Liam, there's the Golden Arches. See? And in the distance there over there. Yeah. We're Liam and I, since they didn't have pizza, Liam and I are going to McDonald's after the game, and we can actually see the Golden Arches from here. And yeah, unfortunately, Big Kahuna Burger is only a fictional place. And it's mentioned, we discovered it from Pulp Fiction, but it's mentioned in several movies, including by Tarantino. So now Decatur Central running out the clock. So anyway, your Plainfield Quakers fight hard, but they leave too many points off the field, make a couple of mistakes possibly caused by the rain, and they suffer their first loss of the season to the arch rival Decatur Central Hawks, 42-21. The Quakers now likely, almost certain to lose their number 1 ranking. They should stay, well into the top 10, probably the top 5. But the important thing is we got three games left now to tune up for the playoffs. So let's learn from these mistakes and come back strong next week. So anyway, we'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to next week's showdown with Franklin after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, Ellison Associates. Thank you, business partners. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield for a final time tonight, where your number 1 ranked Plainfield Quakers have just lost for the first time this season. The final score was 42-21. Their opponent was the 8th ranked and arch rival Decatur Central Hawks. It was a game that was played in the rain a good chunk of the way, not heavy rain like we had last night, but enough rain that it likely made a difference. Playing with the wet ball. I thought because Decatur Central was by far the more pass-oriented team of the two, that they would be the ones harmed by it. But like Martinsville, when they played us in the rain last year, they adapted better than we did, and they got out of here with a well-earned win. Plainfield got the ball first, and after a 3-and-out, there was a blocked punt. However, Decatur Central, despite getting the ball down all the way to the 3-yard line, ended up turning it over on downs. After another Plainfield punt, Plainfield finally got its first touchdown. Decatur Central finally got the first points of the game with 11:21 to go in the second quarter and a 4-yard touchdown pass from Bo Polston to Kashmir Hicks. Ashton Vogel was good on the extra point, making the score 7-0. Then after Plainfield turned the ball over on downs on its next possession, Decatur after they turned over on downs on the next possession, Decatur Central lost a fumble by by Pharrell Carter. However, on Plainfield's ensuing possession, Luke Starnes lost a fumble. And then, however, on Plainfield's next possession, they did tie the game on a 4-yard touchdown rush by Luke Starnes, his 11th of the season, and Leo Hale was good on the extra point, making it 7-7. However, then on Plainfield's ensuing possession, Pharrell Carter scored on a 23-yard rush, and then on another Plainfield fumble, the Hawks scored again on a 3-yard rush by Carter with 1:27 to go in the quarter. So Decatur Central scored 2 touchdowns on rushes by Carter 1 minute and 2 seconds apart after Plainfield had tied it. So that made this, however, the extra point was blocked, making the score 20-7. Decatur Central did not score on its first possession of the second half, but neither did Plainfield. And then on Decatur Central's second possession of the half, they took a 3-possession lead on a no, I'm sorry, excuse me. Decatur Central did not score in its first possession of the second half, and then Plainfield came down and scored on a 12-yard touchdown rush by Luke Starnes with 2:10 to go in the third quarter. The extra point by Hayab was good, making it 20-14. However, Kashmir Hicks took the ensuing kickoff in 98 yards for the touchdown. They went for a 2-point conversion to make up for the missed extra point. It was good, making it 28-14. Then, anyway, then finally with 2:25 to go in the after Weston Wayrich fumbled near the goal line late in the fourth quarter. He fumbled at the 2, and then an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Decatur Central backed the ball up to the 1-yard line. Then after a 5-yard rush by Kashmir Hicks, he took the next play. He took the next play in 94 yards for the touchdown, making the score 42-14. And finally, with 1:05 to go, Weston Wayrich gave Plainfield one more score, giving the game a somewhat positive finish. It was Wayrich's first touchdown of the game after fumbling near the end zone on their previous possession, and that brought us to our final score of 42-21. Look at the individual statistics. First of all, for Plainfield, Bryce Sabank had his biggest passing game of his career by far. He completed 8 of 16 passes after only throwing 1 pass all of last week. So, he had 104 receiving yards, led by Ethan Ellis with 1 for 62. Then Weston Wayrich was 1 for 13. Ryan Garver 1 for 14, and Luke Starnes 2 for 31. on the ground. Luke Starnes had 19 rushes for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had Weston Wayrich had 16 rushes for 90 yards and 1 touchdown. Alex Holtzclaw 1 for 10. That was a fake punt on a fake punt. Brandon Hendry was 2 for 2. Ethan Ellis 1 for 1, and Bryce Sabonk 3 for 2. Meanwhile, for Decatur Central, Bo Polston, a very conservative game by his standards, possibly because of the rain. He completed 14 of 19 passes for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. His leading receiver was Kashmir Hicks with 9 receptions for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns, followed by Carson Eisen with 5 for 27. On the ground, Pharrell Carter had 12 rushes for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kashmir Hicks 2 for 99 and a touchdown. That was the 94-yarder. Bo Polston had 12 for 34, and then a guy who wore number 0, whose name was not on the roster, had 6 for 15. So in conclusion, this is a game in which Plainfield, I really thought it was a 50-50 chance coming in. And then when I saw rain in the forecast, I thought that would tilt the game a little bit in our favor. But basically, we left too many points on the field. There was the lost fumbles, obviously when we took over after the fumble by Hicks, we were inside the 30. So we actually started 2 drives inside the 30 tonight and just didn't come away with any points. And that happened. Ironically, that happened against Greenwood last week. We also started 2 drives in the 30 and did not come away with any point. Well, we didn't start the first one that we turned it over on downs. We ended inside the 30, but we didn't start inside the 30. But last week against Greenwood, we started 2 drives in the 30. This week we started 1 in the 30 and ended another in the 30. But the point is, you can get inside the 30 twice and not score against Greenwood and still, have a good chance to win. But against Decatur Central, that's much more difficult. Sorry if I made that too confusing there. And then obviously, the Wayrich's fumble at the 2 near the end, we were already down by 2 possessions. So I'm not going to harp on that too much. It was disappointing, but I'm glad he did, make up for that by getting the touchdown on the last possession. Even had Wayrich scored there, we likely wouldn't have, wouldn't have won anyway. That was just sort of like, sort of summed up how our evening was going. And, then just really, in a lot of ways, what happened to our rushing offense tonight is reminiscent of what happened to what we did to Greenwood's rushing offense last week. If you look at our rushing statistics, they weren't bad. You had, you had both Wayrich and Starnes getting, 4 or 5 yards of carry, which isn't bad, but they forced us to sustain long drives. And, very often we failed to, finish them off. And once we got down by 2 possessions and we had to throw a lot, that's obviously not our most comfortable game plan, though we did show some promise. And I think what Sabonka did tonight, especially with Ellis, and to a lesser extent, Garver and the 2 running backs, Wayrich and Starnes, it is something for us to build on. And I'm going home disappointed, but I'm not angry. I'm not hanging my head. I'm not thinking, now the season's going to fall apart, because I don't think it will. I think we're going to win, several more games this year. I think we got to still have a good shot to make a good playoff run. Obviously, this game exposed that we do have things to work on. Was our number 1 ranking a little bit overblown? Maybe a little bit, but not much. I mean, we were 5-0 playing against not a super tough schedule, but a solid schedule. And even at this game, gone, at a couple of plays in this game gone differently, we still would have had, we would have had a shot to really, to be neck and neck at the end with a chance to pull it out. This game, and I was glad we got that last touchdown by Wayrich, not only to give him a score for the game, but also because if it had ended at 42-14, that would have been a little bit misleading, because we were about to make it a 14-point game. Now all of a sudden it's a 28-point game, so that sort of evened it out a little bit. And I was glad that we finished, having moved the ball better in the second half. But going forward, this game, eh, look, you never want to lose. You want to win every game you play, but this game could end up being, you know, this loss could end up being the best thing that's ever happened to us. It depends on how we respond to it. If we get mad and we if we get mad about this loss and then we look at the game tape, as painful as it might be, and then we say, okay, what went wrong tonight? What could we have done differently? And then we fix it, then we can come back better. And there's a very good chance we're going to run into Decatur Central in the playoffs again. And if we do, then we just have to, look at the game tape some more and figure out a better game plan, figure out how we can move the ball better, um, how we can have a more balanced rushing passing attack, how we can contain, great athletes such as Pharrell Carter and Kashmir Hicks a little better, things like that. And then we can come back and stick it to them and get the win in the playoffs if we run into them again in the playoffs. Just like I said, the last 2 years between us and Harrison, the team that won the regular season matchup lost the playoff matchup. So, we can turn the tables on Decatur Central. And keep in mind, 21 points, it sounds like a lot, but if we had done about two plays differently and they had done about two plays differently, the outcome could have been different. So it was a good beating that they gave us, but it wasn't an embarrassment. And those two or two or three lost fumbles. Sometimes you play in the rain, it's higher risk. It's not an excuse, it's a fact. But part of being a champion is adapting to whatever your situation is. We didn't adapt as well as Decatur Central did. Um, they do have better athletes than we do, but that doesn't mean that we can't figure out how to contain them for the playoffs. We can figure out ways to, deny certain people the ball and out scrap and out hustle out and outsmart them and still get out with the win. So I don't dismiss the possibility that we could beat them, or that we could beat Whiteland in the playoffs. So disappointing loss, but we'll come back from it. We'll learn from it, and I think that at the end of the season, if we're playing our best football, then we're going to look back at this game as a turning point in the season and as something that really helped us grow and get to the next level. And I think one of the biggest things is going to be establishing a better passing offense. And we showed a lot of promise tonight that we can do that and have a formidable passing game. It doesn't have to be, a superstar passing attack like Terre Haute South has. But if it's just, even an average passing attack to go with our extraordinary rushing attack, we can be an elite 5A team and make a deep playoff run. So anyway, next week, Plainfield will go back on the road to play the Franklin Grizzly Cubs in Mid-State Conference action. Franklin entered this game, and they entered their game today with a record of 2-3. They got off to a very promising start. They beat New Albany in week 1, 47-6, followed by Mount Vernon 21-20 in week 2. However, they've lost 3 in a row since then. They lost 12-7 to Perry Meridian, the same Perry Meridian team who